We're good.
Everybody, good evening. Hope you are not watching the Super Bowl and instead decide to tune in to the Super Sunday Super Cup, presented by Adrena Garage, 13 Motorsports, Hit Motorsports, and of course, Ontario Time Attack. I am Jordan Bazugli, one of our broadcasters here in the booth. I have Joshua Cronin with me. Josh, say good eve to the people.
Hello, everybody. How we doing? We got a big race going on today. Today's our throwback round. We're gonna be from taking a blast to the past back to 1988 at the Hockenheim ring, the Grand Prix circuit, so the long circuit. And we're doing it the 190, the Mercedes-Benz 190e Evo 2. Pretty fun car, an old DTM touring car back when they were basically just production cars with a roll cage in them, and they revved a lot higher. This car rose up to 10,000 RPM. Well,
Oh
pretty
yeah,
much. It's like
all the
9,800. It's close
all the
enough.
rhythms.
But should be a lot of fun. It's gonna be a good round.
Absolutely,
Jordan,
and
no, go ahead.
let's jump into the uh, little stream here. Let's jump into our race feed here. Um, Drivers are just starting to qualify now, and of course this is 88 Hockenheim, so lots of straights. Very, very, very long track. This is actually, this part of the track no longer exists. I believe it's been kind of just completely torn up and reforested. So,
Yeah, pretty much. It's unfortunate. From my understanding, basically all of this old larger section of the Hockenheim ring is gone. It's been reforested. They kind of tore it up, and so it's a shame to lose a piece of racing history. But basically, this last sector and then like the first corner all still exist.
yeah, so Val's coming through the stadium sector right now, which is still basically as was in 1988, excuse me. It's the same today, basically. So through the Sachs curve, through the last corner here, this is all still existing. It's just that you'll see, your typical, I guess, turn two at Hockenheim today. Instead of kind of running through it, they just keep on going straight. So yeah, it's gonna be very interesting. I guess prior to the last few minutes of qualifying, let's just run our little pre-roll ads, and we'll be back. And we are back. Hope you all enjoyed the pre-roll ads. Obviously, once again, want to thank our sponsors, Hit Motorsports. It's How I Play. They are based in Ajax Sim Racing Studio, who've helped provide some promotional consideration, prizes, and support for this series, as well as 13 Motorsports in Brampton, Automotive Shop, Performance Shop, who provided some prizes for the series as well as Adrena Garage, Performance Shop as well, based in Oakville, who've generously provided some prizes for the drivers and some promotional consideration for our stream here. So we appreciate these folks for supporting us. And of course, Ontario Time Attack, leading the charge on this on the esports side and being able to put this on. So we got 12 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in qualifying. Josh, I don't know if you want to go through the strategies that are going to emerge over the race.
I don't want to. I'm just kidding. Yeah. Yes. I don't know. It's interesting. This car does have the choice of soft, medium, or hard tires. But from what it sounded like, our drivers are mainly going to be choosing to one stop on mediums. Use mediums until the tanks are empty, fill the tank back up. They're not even necessarily filling the tank the entire way. I believe the tanks. I don't know what the tank's upper capacity is off the top of my head, but they're basically not running the full tank out to kind of optimize the the kind of how the car handles. Which will definitely be really important because you don't want to underestimate your fuel here. A large portion of the lap, I'd be willing to say probably a solid 65 to 70% of the lap is spent at full throttle here, if not more. So you really got to make sure you get your fuel calculation right because it's going to be very difficult. Well, it might not necessarily be difficult, but you're going to lose a ton of time trying to fuel save if you got your calculation a bit off.
Absolutely, and it's like you said. I guess these cars do have a pretty high capacity tank, but obviously through this mix of long straights, a lot of long straights, and then your kind of slow mid-speed corners. It's not only, I guess, the balance you have to worry about taking, let's say, too much fuel, but also with all that weight, you actually end up losing a bit of straight line speed. When you have so much straight here, a couple kilometers an hour on a normal track, let's say, here it could be, upwards 10, 15 kilometers an hour that you're losing on the straights by carrying, more fuel than you need. Which is why I guess the drivers, considering that they're going to need to one stop anyways for tires, that, you take lighter fuel and then you don't get the weight penalty associated with running a full tank.
Yeah, 100%. Just under, just about 10.5 minutes of qualifying remaining. Now currently on the pole. He's at 2:16.7. It's pretty cool. Times are pretty sweat out. Times are pretty spread out, actually.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, considering, obviously this is a very long track, so, on our, I guess, previous couple weeks, our tracks have been much shorter. So you're, I guess, if you have a mistake in a, corner here, corner there, over a shorter lap, really, maybe it's a couple tenths. But, a mistake onto the straight can cost you a second at Hockenheim 88 here. So, just considering the distance and everything else, you're just kind of liable to, lose more time. So the laps are going to naturally spread out just in terms of the lap length and whatnot.
100%, and the corner exits out of the chicanes, because there's 3 chicanes here, basically. The corner exits are going to be really key to ensure, because you can literally lose half a second, just because of a bad exit out of a chicane. And that's just for a straightaway, not let alone the entire lap. And so, especially as the tires wear too, the track's not going to be too killer on the tires. You're not really doing a lot of turn, or even if you are turning, it's a very high speed turn to the point where it's not really going to matter that much. Or it's a very low speed turn like the chicane where it's not going to matter too much. So the tire is not going to be the tire wear is not going to be too bad, but you are going to notice it as the tires wear, because if you slip the tires coming out of the chicanes on these corner exits, you're going to lose a ton of time. 8 minutes, 52 seconds remaining in qualifying. Current pole sitter Val Pietro, 2:16.75.
Yeah, Val's just on his out lap right now. We're going to see if he can probably best that time. But he seems to be pretty safe there. Full second to Doug Newman behind him in second place. And then almost a full second behind him to Joseph Yang in third. So, and I guess in fourth as well, it's another full second. So, top 4 are spread out by, basically a second each. So, we'll see over the last 8 minutes here what the drivers can do if that pack tightens up. Watching Val here going through the stadium section, really using all of that runoff there. Kind of almost touching the cones on the outside there, just trying to maximize your line and get as I guess wide of an entry into the stadium section as possible, so you can carry more speed through that. Come through the second to last corner here, just keep it neat and tidy. Obviously 88 Hockenheim, a lot more grass and versus the asphalt runoff that we see there today. So very interesting, the differences over the past oh my god, 34 years. Wow.
Yeah. It's actually even more. What the heck? So, well, I don't know. Is it 34 years? I guess it is 34 years, huh? Time flies. I don't know. I wasn't alive at that point.
Same
Anyway,
here.
the other main difference too that we haven't talked about, but the drivers have certainly noticed is whereas the modern tracks have kind of been trouble. Jason Seeley has spun in turn 1. That sucks. Whereas the modern Hockenheim ring the curbs have been what I like to call Formula One-ified, where they've kind of smoothed them out. So it's one of those curbs where the racing line involves taking 5 feet a curve, right? Back in 1988, complete opposite. These curbs are basically pretty close to what you'd probably see on like an actual street curb. At least it's what they feel like.
Yeah, very, very tall. Almost, I guess, Nürburgring-like. Like
Oh
especially
no,
the north.
yeah, almost exactly the same.
Yeah, so
Val
very,
has
very
blown
tall.
the chicane.
Val's just on the grass now. He's just hanging out. So you see him kind of skip along, rejoining the track. Yeah, these cars top out pretty good. Upwards of 240, 250 I've seen in between the chicanes. So definitely plenty of speed. Through that chicane, that's a tight one, but you can almost straight line it as Val blows past that one again.
Oh, there he goes. Yeah, so the curbs are pretty Nürburgring, or a lot of the Nürburgring's skill particularly involves knowing which curbs you can and cannot take. Here, I mean, it's pretty recreational, but basically probably the final corners like exit curb, and then like maybe turn 1, not even.
Yeah, absolutely.
Those are about the only curbs I've ever seen you be able to take. Yeah, the exit curbs at turn 1, you can take them. The exit curbs at the final corner, you can take. I've not seen a single other curb you can actually use in this. Gags has spun it in the first corner. He has since continued. Actually, no, I think he just pulled off and let people by. Val's having a go at it.
Yeah, we're watching Doug here complete his lap. We'll see what he can do and whether or not he can match Val's 2:16.7. Had an interesting approach to the stadium sector there. He kept it in 6th gear all the way through that first left-hander towards the Sachs curve. Pretty interesting. We'll see what time he puts down.
Out of the corner. I'll tell you what, though. I don't want to spoil all of our discussion, actually. We need someone to talk about during the race, so I'll keep calling about commentating. I just want to say that I love these style cars, the old DTM cars, because these are proper touring cars.
Absolutely. They race very well. You can bang doors with them. They're fairly forgiving. Still on slick tires. They have plenty of grip, but you know, if you do get it wrong, you got margin.
The other thing, too, is the aero does help, but you can beat the hell out of these cars. Like, they basically, you drive them like you don't actually have aero on them. So, because at the end of the day, these are just bricks, effectively. But they're very fast bricks, that's the difference. Gal has blown the first chicane again.
Absolutely, riding along with Doug, still banging the limiter at 10,000 RPM. Did a 2:17.2 his last lap, so creeping closer to Val. Val's still ahead there with that 16.7. Very strong lap. We're watching Doug here kind of rip through that chicane. Using a lot of the...
A bit squirrely on the exit, but it was a good run through the chicane. That chicane's notoriously very difficult.
Absolutely.
Just due to how narrow it is.
Threading the eye of the needle right there for sure. Trying to carry as much speed through there as possible. You got to use the curb in order to straight line it, but once again, it's, you know, obviously these curbs are so dang high, it just, you know, really unsettles the car on exit. So really well held from Doug there. Using a lot of the curb there too for the third chicane, using all that curb on the exit, a little bit of grass, and he keeps on going.
The other thing too is it's so narrow to get through that chicane, as the last little spin's coming out of it. It's so narrow to get through that chicane that you can really only go one car wide. So I'm not looking forward to it lap 1. I'm hoping the drivers are going to behave a little bit, but it's very much an all or nothing chicane. Like, you either lose a ton of time going through it, or you kind of just send it. The issue is if you send it, there are very big consequences.
Absolutely. Doug, I think, got out of sorts there going through the stadium section and ended up, I guess, getting on the grass, and that probably cost him his lap time, which is why he's kind of slowed down and he's going to try again, or maybe not. He's going into the pits.
Pit entry also kind of sucks, too, because you have this weird chicane thing that's just kind of annoying, to be honest. There's no quick way to get through it.
Walter with a very strong lap time, 2:20.661, so bringing it down quite a bit for him. He's up in the 8th now. Riding along with Gerald here on his outlap, running through the stadium section with that vintage Sonax livery. That's the
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 iconic
good stuff.
Sonax machine.
The good stuff.
The angled number board. Wow, you don't really see that nowadays. I don't think you can do that actually.
Yeah, I think it's like a
Angled
legibility
number
concern.
board. Which I mean, that's fair.
Yeah.
Big news is Randy's doing a practice start on pit. I thought he was doing practice starts. Don't want to mess it up. You can gain so many places on this first lap, but also you can lose so many places on this first lap. And I dread what happens when we get to that second chicane, because that means I'm probably going to have to do some race control work tomorrow.
Indeed, it's going to be dicey for sure through the first lap when the field's really tight, especially because these chicanes are so tight and drivers are going to be kind of vying for position. And obviously the closing speeds are so great too, right? Like you're doing 240, 250 kilometers an hour, then coming down to, you know, basically like 20. So pretty wild. Yeah. I think a lot of the drivers, I guess, considering there's only a minute 30-second lap left, any drivers that are crossing the finish now to set their last lap are just bailing. So we're right along with Paul Todd here as he goes to the stadium section. We'll see what his final lap time will be as he zips on through here. Riding on board in the passenger seat here through the Saxe Curve and then into the last set of corners here. Keeps it relatively neat and tidy. Last corner, use a little bit of that curb if you can, and on the power of the exit, we're running towards the line, and we'll see what Paul Todd can put down. Not bad, 221.6 brings him up into 14th place.
There you go.
Do we have any other drivers on track? It looks like we have Thomas going through the stadium section right now as well, so we'll see with him what he can put down.
So then it kind of goes a bit wide in the apex. That's where the drag strip is now.
Yeah, absolutely. The Germans love their drag racing, I guess. That's a thing.
I don't know.
Well, I don't know. It's interesting. Interesting nonetheless.
It's one of the only drag strips like professional drag strips in Europe.
Absolutely. Thomas putting it up 2:18.3, very strong time. Still fourth, good for fourth, but nonetheless a strong time. Jackson about to cross the line. He'll be the last one to cross, I believe. It does a...
it just goes a bit slower.
A bit slower, 2:21.688, so it's not going to be enough, and Jackson's going to start in 9th.
Jason not going to get to improve. Start 12th.
Driver should be gridding up. There we go. My car's going to do its thing. Hi, car.
There it goes. Just another starting park for the commentator team, Motorsports. We're saving the car for next round.
Exactly. And we're just idling. I'm just destroying the ozone layer. Don't worry about it.
It's 1988. There's no cat on that automobile.
That is true. All right. We got 2 minutes 35 seconds before the start of the race. Do we get a little grid rundown?
You want me to do a grid rundown? I can do a grid
Let's do
rundown.
it.
All right, we got a big name, Valdipietro, Mr. Pole Sitter. He's on the pole. Doug Newman is in second. His challenger, Just Viang is in third. Thomas Langill is in fourth. Gags is in fifth. Nathan's in sixth. Michael Kosier is in seventh. Walter sits in eighth. Jackson Oliveira sits in ninth. Phillips' brother sits in 10th. Giuliano sits in 11th. Jason sits in 12th. Brady sits in 13th. My camera's gone weird. Paul Todd sits in 14th. Lee Larson starts 15th. Gerald Nemhard, my pick. I'm picking him again. He's going to win this race. He's going to go 1 for 3. Starting 16th. Laszlo T starting 17th. Petri Moshkin starting 18th. And Randy Zimmer, the Zoomer, starting 19th.
So we got a packed house. Good grid variety here. I like the liveries on these cars. Actually, we got some nice little variety and easier to identify for us as well, which makes it nice.
100%. Yeah, and these are all maybe not actual, but inspired by paints that would have run back in DTM. The Boone sports car is not actually real. It's based off the Spoon sports car. And we wait.
And we wait. Do we have time for a 190E Cosworth fun fact?
Yes.
Before the start of the race. All right. Let's do it. This car, even the street version, has a dogleg 5-speed transmission, meaning that the first gear is actually down to the left and not up to the left like in your average manual transmission. Idea being is that being a 5-speed first gear, you're only really using it to get off the line. On the track, you're more likely to do that second to third and third to fourth shift. Those are the more critical shifts, right? So third to second, second to third are a straight line rather than having to go across. Other cars that had dogleg transmissions, I'm trying to think, Ferraris of that era, like the Testarossa, had a dogleg. I believe the Lamborghini Countach also had a dogleg 5-speed.
The Mira, I think, had a dog
Mura
speed.
as well.
Dog leg, rather not a
Yeah.
dog speed.
And even the, I think the most recent Aston Martin Vantage, as well as the V12 Vantage, they had dogleg 7-speed transmissions as well, which is pretty interesting.
Dog leg 7-speed, all right.
Yeah.
Get ready to go racing.
Let's do it. Lights are up. And lights are out. Here we go. Val getting off clean. Doug getting a really good start. Tom's getting an excellent start. Sneak back Joseph Yang on the outside there. Up into third place. As we come through turn 1 here, everybody's behaving. Cameron getting run over a bunch.
Somebody was in the back.
Oh, I think that's Giuliano getting lost in the shuffle there. He's dropping away. Doug and Val are side by side. It looks like we're just gonna have two. This is NASCAR now. We got a whole draft pack going.
A whole draft pack. Val and Doug getting the rundown of the first chicane. This might get hairy. Cars are spreading out a little bit, but this corner approaches fast. A hard braking zone. Doug's going to try and hold it around the outside. Val's on the inside, not letting him,
Val's
giving him an inch.
On through. Doug's going to slip on in behind and kind of hope that the draft works out. Val got a really good run to that corner.
In the back.
Oh, it looks like Philip. Philip is spinning, a lot of contact, and Michael as well getting going again, but they dropped a lot of positions. Let's sit back in with our leaders as they zip on through. Thomas getting a good run on Doug here. I don't know, is he going to do it?
Into the chicane's going to be risky. Come on,
be very risky.
Be nice. Oh, no, Doug blows the chicane.
Oh, man.
Oh, it gets in a foul. They're both off. Oh, no.
Oh, trouble indeed. Trouble indeed. I think Val and Doug rejoin in 4th and 6th respectively. So Thomas gets a nice little benefit from that and up into 1st. Although Joseph Yang now slipping into the lead with the draft as we come in through our other 3rd chicane here. I can do math. Thomas getting through clean. Let's see with these other drivers. The pack here pretty tight, coming through okay. I think we got Paul Todd going off. We got Walter's off, completely missed it. Brady going through.
Demetrius
goes around.
What a first lap.
Oh man, a lot of
everything is happening.
Dimitri rejoining.
Gags misses the corner.
Oh man, what's happening to Gags? Oh,
overcorrects and spins it. Oh no.
Bad luck for Gags.
Somebody else is off track. I don't know who that is. I think it's Jason.
Jason Seeley.
Everybody's wrecking.
Lee here. Oh man, I can't even keep up.
This is a chaotic first lap. Tell you what.
Absolutely. Gags get going again. Yes, he does. Val and Jackson going at it. We got action on action.
Oh man, Val looking to get back up into, I think that's 4th.
Yeah, we take him on the outside. Seems to make it stick. Although Jackson's gonna fight hard, but looks like with that push from Doug with the draft, I wonder if Val's gonna be able to slip on through. He is clean into 4th, but yeah, no, Jackson's obviously very close, and looks like Doug might benefit from that as well on Jackson as he goes outside. Are they too wide? They're behaving. Bump drafting a little bit. Looks like Doug's actually going to slip ahead through there. Jackson.
Doug misses it again.
Jesus.
Oh, no.
Oh, Jackson touching that tire and oh man, rough for Jackson. I think he's going to have to. Val and Doug keep going. Jackson.
We got another wreck in the back.
Slipping behind. We got. Jason and Walter kind of slipping way back. These chicanes are taking no prisoners today. That is for sure, as I think Brady went around too or had an issue. As we got a big pack of cars.
Jackson has not got it in gear, not going anywhere. I wonder what happened there.
Right along with Gerald here in 12th place. Drivers are taking this chicane a lot slower now this time, second time around.
They learned their lesson.
Yeah, absolutely, no question. Randy getting past Brady, not quite, no. Brady's going to retake that place, as I think Philip is going to slip on by as well. I believe Jason may have disconnected.
Jason has disconnected. Might be some sort of a mechanical issue there. Fortunate to see that.
Laszlo and Giuliano side by side.
Alpada's missed the chicane. We should have had like a missing the chicane counter.
Yeah, honestly.
That would have been fun. Lead battle still goes to Joseph Yang and Thomas coming through the stadium section.
Let's take a look at that. Thomas not too far behind. Joseph, qualifying third place, so obviously he has the pace. Thomas wasn't too far behind him as well, so we'll see how these guys battle out over the entire race. Oh, Giuliano, I think, got into it there, and he's spun it through the stadium section as well.
He lost it just coming into the stadium section.
Brady having a rough go too. Oh man.
Giuliano they were going 3 wide. Giuliano just kind of was sitting a little bit. He was the left car in the 3 wide, and I'll tell you what, he just got in the grass, and I'm not joking, Jason. And you're not Jason, you're Jordan. Sorry.
When's it gonna stop?
He probably slid. He probably slid for about 5 seconds at least.
Nice.
I was watching him. I was sitting, and I was gonna call in and be like, "Oh, Giuliano's sliding," and I watched him, and he was all the way to the left, and he was sliding, and he was still sliding, and I was like, "I'm not gonna say anything," and he was still sliding, and I was like, "Okay, now I'm gonna bring it up."
Good battle here.
Still sliding.
Val and Doug. Doug having to give away there. They're door to door. But I don't know if that's going to compromise his exit. But, I mean, he's still going to have the draft. So we'll see into the second chicane now if these guys can keep it together. I think they've been so busy fighting each other that they're kind of losing time to the leaders. So, I mean, if they want to be back up front, I think they're going to have to work together. Getting through that second chicane pretty cleanly.
Yeah, second chicane really is the tricky one. We're going to see a lot of drivers, especially as the tires wear out, start to rue the day they approach that chicane. Speaking of which, Paul Todd goes wide at the chicane, bumps into the wall. Gonna try and rejoin. My picks up into 12th, Gerald Nemhard. Doing a little bit of a four-wheel drift shuffle, leaving the chicane.
Yeah, as one does.
Yep. Newman and Val are still battling too. These chicanes, the track looks lame, but the chicanes are actually kind of making the racing a little bit interesting.
Absolutely, it seems to be mixing it up. Gerald and Philip not too far behind each other, as well as Paul Todd. So this battle for 11th is probably going to be hotting up over the next couple laps, giving each other a hard time.
Into the stadium section, Paul Todd and Gerald Nemhard battling for 11th. Philip tries around the outside through there. We've seen a couple drivers try and make use of the, what do you call it? Oh, pavement on the kind of the outside.
Oh, Gerald going off the stadium section there. Unfortunately, he just ran a little bit wide there, touch of grass, and that's it. I think Paul Todd lets Philip by, and Phil now gains 11th.
Oh, man. Paul Todd, Philip J. Oliveira going for it, coming out of the final corner. That's name I don't know because I don't speak German. Going into the first corner. Bit too far back for Paul Todd to make a move, but if he can get a good run out of this first corner, and it's going to be improved by Phil getting a bad run out of the first corner.
Is he going to do it? I think
that might be sealed.
I think Paul is going to get by, and I believe Gaglione got past Larson as well. Lee Larson.
He did, but he's got to hold on to it.
Yeah. Paul seems to get by pretty easily. Let's check in here. Gets the job done. Phil's not going to. He's going to make it interesting into the first chicane here, but I think Paul's got that move done and dusted.
Well, the crossover. Phil gets on the brakes way late, but it's going to work. A pretty ballsy move, but it's going to work for Phil.
Really nice move by Phil there to just kind of send it in on the inside there. Good stuff.
Nemhard using the escape chicane because he's smart, not just crashing through the chicane.
Yeah, let's take a look at fourth, actually. This seems to be hotting up. I think Val and Doug are starting to get it together and focus on the leaders. Their lap times have shrunk significantly over this lap versus the last one, so I'm sure they're focused on trying to claw their way back.
Val trying to get close to Nathan. Maybe perhaps a bit too fast on the apex. Nathan's going to get the better exit. Gerald Nemhard has crashed into the second chicane. Dimitri's involved, too. Don't know what happened there.
Oh, man, they're going to fall behind significantly.
Both cars in the wall.
Yeah, unfortunate.
Unfortunately, that one's not too easy to deduce. Both cars have damage on the front and neither have damage on the back. It's not even an easy blame.
Here we go.
Look on the
Val's
inside
gonna
of
slip
Nathan.
inside, gets it done. Nathan not putting up too much of a fight. As
Well, I thought he was going to... I think he was going to try a crossover. Val just kind of made that car a bit wide, kept it hugged tight to the inside of the corner coming through there. Deny that chance for the crossover. Val knows a couple things. It's not his first rodeo. Doug Newman has gone off. He has spun entering the stadium section.
Stadium's
all the way down to ninth.
It's been tough. It's been really tough. In a big big gap to fall from fifth place, I guess he was. So yeah, 4 positions.
Ninth.
Pretty brutal. Not gonna lie. Laszlo close behind as well. He's gonna try to take ninth, as Doug is trying to kind of get his affairs in order and keep going here. So we'll see if Laszlo can capitalize on Doug's misfortune here. Or, Doug is able to kind of hold him off and try to charge back towards the front.
Doug real slow through the first corner.
Oh,
but
Thomas having to
unfortunately
take the
because of
escape route through the chicane. Actually ends up not losing too much of time there.
I don't think he lost so much time.
Joseph. I wonder if drivers are going to start using it as an exploit, although it would not be cool at all. That's just for the record.
I will punish people who use the chicane as an exploit. I have the power. There's a Yang banging through the second chicane. Thomas going to follow.
Ooh, a lot of curb there.
Bump, bump. Oh, yeah, you got to take a lot of curb to be fast through that chicane. That chicane is designed to make sure that you are not as fast as possible. A lot of drivers running very conservative lines through the chicane. The official line does have you hanging it a little bit more off to the right side, but if the actual fast line is, you go banging through it. Just cut straight through it, straight line it, rather than slowing down to the right and swinging left.
Absolutely. That's definitely going to be the trickiest spot, like we've said before. The other chicanes aren't too bad. Ooh, we got Gaglione on Jackson actually here.
On Jackson.
For 6.
The inside, is he there? Ooh, kind of get on the brakes a bit earlier, Jackson, but is he going to overshoot the corner? Nope. Seems to be carrying the speed. Gags gets a bit sideways on the apex.
Yeah, I think it's kind of it's a measure of cojones. These chicanes.
These cars seem to be these cars seem to be just forgiving enough to be able to use some of the chicanes, but you kind of have to know what you're doing. It's not really a free pass. Jackson getting sideways on the entry to the stadium section. Going to lose a ton of time, but saves it. Yeah,
absolutely. Gags is going to be able to take advantage of that and get much closer here as they run through this little hairpin here, come through Saxe-Curve, and on
Jordan,
the last set of corners.
I think we're going to start seeing a lot more of that as the race progresses. These cars, in my experience of driving it, when the tires start wearing, they do get quite tail happy, but they don't necessarily feel slower. They feel like almost like a predictable kind of loose.
Yeah, like they break away very progressively. Like you do lose time.
It's an understandable breakaway. It never surprises you.
Yeah, the balance of the vehicle, it does kind of tear towards oversteer, but it's not kind of alarmingly so where it's undrivable, right? I think
what's honestly key with it too is that just the steering feels just, I don't know how to explain it. Oh, Paul Todd loses it out of the first corner, going to nose it into the wall.
Oh man, rough for Paul Todd there.
Unfortunate.
Does he get it going again? Oh, he's all the way back there. We're going to have to check in with him here. Ended up hitting the inside there. I wonder if Gerald's going to get... Oh, Gerald getting really loose there.
Oh, Gerald getting sideways.
Oh man,
whoa!
And oof, brushing the
wall.
wall.
Taps it. Does a spin.
Doing a 360 there. Is going the wrong way, man.
There's your problem.
He's going to have to give it a big old clutch kick, spin it around,
well
and here
Good
we go
recovery.
again.
I respect that. Jackson trying to move on Gags into the second chicane. Where have we seen this before? Not going to work. He's going to. Oh, he's a bit too fast.
Oh, Jackson's going to run way wide.
I think he just missed Gags, but he's going to blow the corner, lose a ton of time. Lee Larson's in the wall. Don't know if he got helped. Laszlo going to pick up a spot. The benefactor of that situation. Anyway, as I was saying, yeah, these cars, the steering just feels really good. It's a tight race ratio, so it feels good, but it also, you have enough move lock to lock that you can comfortably catch slides. It's not like a GT3 where you're kind of always on edge when you got to catch a slide. It's very predictable. Honestly, these cars would make semi-decent. This drives similar to probably how I would describe a street car drives, in terms of being able to catch oversteer.
Absolutely. Doug being able to slip by Jackson there. I believe we'll see through the stadium sector. Ooh, they're close. They're bumper to bumper here. But Jackson able to hold on. We'll see now through. Ooh, Doug going real deep, too deep.
Doug.
And
Oh.
that's the old button on that one.
Doug's falling
Doug's
apart.
gonna
Doug, please.
rejoin. Oh man, battle for 10th.
Oh, no.
Lee Larson turns Laszlo.
Oh no.
Oh jeez.
Laszlo fishing.
Phil gaining a whole bunch of places from that. He moves up to the 9th. So 2 places for Phil. More freebies. We're gonna take it.
Oh man, Laszlo not gonna be happy about that one. I feel like that was a compounding issue. I think Laszlo was trying to turn over to avoid the rejoining Doug. Lee probably might have not seen it. I don't know. Definitely, it's an unfortunate situation. But Laszlo down at 13th, not gonna be happy. You're gonna have to try and make that up on strategy, as pace is pretty difficult because considering you spend so much of this lap at full throttle, it's difficult to make it up on pace.
Absolutely.
Val and Thomas going through the second chicane. Val's learned his lesson from battling with Doug. It's on the brakes a bit earlier, avoids destroying Thomas. Todd gonna slip past Randy for 14th. Walter B gets a move. Lee dropping way back, way back. What if he had a slowdown? Laszlo's behind him though. Unless he's being nice, he might let Laszlo by for that. Very nice gesture. For the final chicane, or the second chicane rather, not the final chicane. They're getting quite close. Val's trying to get a move on Thomas, battling for second here. Out of this through the hairpin in the stadium section. Val getting a little bit tail happy through the S's.
Absolutely.
Time gets in the grass on the second last corner. Oh no!
Oh man, big slide. Can he catch it? Oh, bouncing off the wall. And, ooh.
Hits the wall.
That's
Put it in reverse, Terry. Puts it in reverse, puts it back in first. That was a little bit of a burnout.
Absolutely. Nathan's going to be able to slip by into third, and Val's got his work cut out from once again. Joseph really just having an uneventful race so far in the lead. He's just cruising. He's doing enough.
He's just going.
It's good stuff.
Bit early to say. I mean, we're only 17 minutes in, but he's just going. Closest battle on track right now seems to be Lee Larson and Brady. Brady getting sideways coming out of the hairpin.
Let's take a look at that here.
We're starting to see cars getting a lot more sideways now. Lee getting sideways in the last corner to prove my point. It was a ton of time. Drops back to Laszlo. Laszlo looking to hopefully get a good run. Down the front straight.
Yeah, it's our closest battle right now on track is really, we got Laszlo and Lee. As well as, looks like Doug Newman and Jackson as well.
Oh, Laszlo! Oh, hard into the wall in the first corner.
Oof. Big ouchies.
Just tried to hate to call him out. You just got a bit greedy with the curb. Took a bit too much curb. Hit a little bit of too much of the floor pan. Dipped a little bit too much of the wheel in the dirt. Pow into the wall.
Away she goes.
Doug and Jackson battling for 7th. Racing. Jackson is flashing his headlights. Jackson has his 4-ways on. I don't even know how he did that.
Oh, it's through CSP. You have signals.
No, I get that, but why does he have his 4-ways on?
For the flex, I can only assume.
I mean, I guess. Is that like when you hit the hazards on somebody in a drag race? Is it just like a BM thing?
I don't know.
Did he do it by
mistake? It could be an Autobahn thing. You know, like you throw the 4-ways on when you're doing like your max speed Autobahn run for the flex.
Is that a thing?
I think it's a thing.
Is it? I don't know. You could be pulling my chain. I don't know.
No, I think it's a thing.
I was told the flashers were for if you're stopping suddenly. Speaking of stopping suddenly, Jackson's gonna get way sideways.
That is a requirement in Europe, actually, that it flashes the 4-ways on hard braking. Like it's built into
Oh,
the
it is,
switch, so
isn't
when
it?
you
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
slam the
Yeah.
brakes, it does the four ways for you.
Yeah, I forgot. It's like some cars will do it. Well, when it'll sync in with the ABS too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like basically, if you activate ABS, it'll do forward. So it's interesting. I didn't know that. I guess that makes sense, right? Like then we ran on the back bumper of Jackson. They're gonna go side by side up the front straight. They're in teammate cars. They're actually in the same numbered cars. Doug Newman thinks better of it. Maybe gonna try around the outside. Who knows?
Oh, very close. Doug taking a look.
Jackson left space though. Side by side still running down to the chicane. Doug Newman looks like he's got the place pretty well secure, but he's not going to have a prominent line through the corner. Gets on the gas, a little bit of a flick to countersteer it. 7th is his. Just Vieg with a dominant, almost 9-second lead. All eyes currently on the only battle. Jackson and Doug going at it right now.
Absolutely, coming through second chicane here. Ooh, Jackson touching
Bump,
that inside tire wall just a little bit. Let's sit in on the front here and see how his pace compares to Doug here. They're very close. Doug having a little bit of an advantage, but
the four-ways are still just kind of throwing me off.
it's pretty goddamn funny.
But I'm trying to think about. But I'm trying to think about how he hit it. Like, did he do it intentionally? Did he hit it by mistake?
We don't know, but it's fascinating nonetheless.
Yeah, now up to 1.7 seconds. Gap under a second. Brady getting a good run on Walter out of the third chicane. Brady going way wide in the pavement to swing it in. Gonna try a crossover. Almost works. Walter parked it on the apex. Kind of prevented that. Through the Sox curve, because it's one of the only corners that's actually named on this track. Here comes Walter. Here comes Brady, rather.
Yeah, let's take a look at that battle. Brady and Walter hotting up, obviously. Their battle, I believe Brady's closed down quite a bit of gap this past lap here. 2/10. So
he got right into the back bump. He got right into the back bumper from the issues. He just couldn't get the move done. Coming through turn 11, rather.
Absolutely. Execution is not easy, but it's definitely the key to success, especially as, obviously, you can try to draft as much as you want, but these chicanes really throw a wrench into your party for sure.
Let's have a look at Nathan and Val. Val got an incredible run through the second chicane, closed up a ton of time.
Yeah,
half a second through the chicane alone. Now he's going to be in the draft range. Randy, I think, has had an issue out of the first corner. Perhaps an accident. Perhaps a collision. Right in the back bumper, Nathan. Once again, these guys are also running the same cars.
Through a stadium section here, this has caused issues for Val the last couple laps. Using a little bit of the grass there on the inside, trying to get the run on Nathan here. He's got to be patient. Ooh, tries to slip it inside.
Nathan
gets it done. Nathan misses that apex completely, and he's going to have to try to do the over-under, but we'll see now as we ride along with Nathan here.
Maybe even might have
slip in. Ooh, going. Oh wait, no, it's a little subtle course in net code, having us fooled.
Maybe even getting a little bit spooked coming into the hairpin. Maybe just seeing that big lunge from Val, maybe panicked. Gave him the place. There we go, Val's got third.
Absolutely, gets it done, and he's going to keep it that way. Now the question is, Is he going to be able to claw back that time to Thomas up ahead? I don't know if Thomas had an issue. Seemed to lose a bit of gap there. As he goes pretty deep into the chicane there. Getting a kind of a weird line.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now, and to be honest, Val skipping and jumping through the first chicane. Thomas's last lap, 3 seconds, almost 4 seconds. 4 seconds slower than the leader's last lap. He might have gone off. Might have had some sort of a problem. Val was 3 seconds faster than him last lap. But even then, Nathan was still a second faster.
Yeah, Val's closing in a lot of time to Thomas. Significant amount of time. In fact.
Maybe his tires might be wearing. Maybe this is all just, hearsay. I'm not going to say this is the truth and that this is gospel. Maybe Thomas is a bit less confident on the warm tires, or he might be running a different tire compound. We did say the softs from testing seemed like some of the drivers weren't too confident in the longevity of the softs.
Absolutely.
Knows,
I mean,
maybe
Val getting a bunch out of sorts to the third chicane, but manages to keep it sorted just. A lot of oversteer action. Yeah, no, especially the softs, right? As they start to really wear down, it's you're not going to have the longevity of a harder compound tire, right? It's not going to be as consistent over your stint. They're going to have a much steeper fall off as we see Val come to the stadium section here. Let's check out some other battles here. Nathan actually not too far behind Val, only 1 second behind. I believe it's the closest battle we have on track currently.
Yeah, pretty much. Val and Nathan were about a second apart. Through the final corner. Interesting to note, there's a Molson ad on this track, which is weird given that this track is in Germany.
Absolutely, it's very interesting.
I really hope that beer didn't go international. I don't want to ruin our reputation. Not there's anything wrong with drinking Molson. I just don't like it at all.
Oh, Jackson getting really out of sorts through the Saxekurve.
Why?
And I don't know why. It just seemed to kind of touch a bit of grass there. Another good battle here between Brady and Walter.
I want to say let's do an onboard lap, but it's, a lot of it's kind of just put your foot down and drive in a straight line.
Absolutely. I wonder with an hour and 13 minutes left if we cut to our ad breaks.
Yeah, tell me why not?
For the pits to start kind of rolling in. So let's cut to our ad break and we'll be back.
Walter battling Brady. Let's go to our ads.
Well, it's gonna be good stuff. We will check in on that when we get back. All right, we are back. Laszlo and Lee Larson here battling for 13th place. And we actually got another battle much closer up front. We can take a look at Gaglione and Michael Koiser. Here, Laszlo getting by Lee Larson cleanly, so let's check in with Gaglione. So they're running through the last corner here. Gag seemed to get a really good exit, so he closes in a little bit to Koiser. So we'll see now the two Michaels, what they can do as they run down through the first long straight of the track.
This is it's a weird track.
Absolutely.
We're getting there. Well, I don't know when the pit window's going to particularly open. If it's going to be around the halfway point, probably around 50 minutes remaining in the race. That's about the halfway point.
Absolutely.
By about the halfway point, I mean that is the halfway
Literally
point.
the halfway point.
It's exactly the halfway point. Should be interesting. Cozier getting loose coming out of these cars. We're seeing these cars starting to get real loose coming out of corners.
Absolutely. I imagine the drivers are just trying to get on the power as early as possible to get a good exit, but, you know, a little overzealous with the throttle and wants to kind of get sideways on you.
Well, that might even be intentional, because remember, these cars are naturally aspirated, and because they rev so high, they're not exactly torquey, but they do rev a lot. So there might even be an incentive to slide the car out of the corner to keep the RPMs up so you don't bog it. Don't know for sure, though. Doug Newman absolutely bombing it through the second chicane. He's starting to catch the back of Gags and Cozier.
Yeah, absolutely. Doug, I mean, he's had a little rough go, but I mean, still an hour, 10 minutes. He's not doing too bad in 7th, considering, you know, all the incidents that he's had.
He's had quite a few of them. Hate to do it to him. It's become battling. You have any more fun facts we can go through?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's pull those up.
I pull up Hockenheim fun facts.
So the Mercedes M102 engine that these cars have were actually built by Cosworth. Yeah, so basically the engine was provided by Mercedes. The block is a traditional M102 engine, but Cosworth completely reworked the head for this motor. Has lightweight pistons and a Cosworth tuned fuel injection system as well. Revs to 10,000 RPM. In the street car even, it revs to 7,100 RPM, which is pretty wild. These heads are considered kind of F1 grade tech, very similar to the Cosworth DFE V8s of the past in terms of the architecture that they've carried over to this engine, which is pretty interesting.
Really just pretty crazy. Almost a weird choice, honestly, to put into a car like this. This is basically an executive's car. This is like a saloon. This would be the equivalent of putting a crazy like IndyCar V6 into like an A8, like an A6 maybe.
Absolutely.
Weird choice, but then you get fun stuff. We have huge news. Jackson still has his four-ways on.
Yeah, let's check in with Jackson here. Yeah,
so I'm gonna go ask him.
Flashing away.
I'm gonna go ask him why he's got his four-ways on.
While we wait for Josh to come back and figure out the reason why Jackson's four-ways are on. Once again, I'd like to thank our sponsors. We've got Hip Motorsports, of course. We have Adrena Garage, 13 Motorsports, and of course Ontario Time Attack. Josh, welcome back. Did you get a reason?
I said, Jackson, why do you have your four-ways on? He said, do I? So he didn't know. He isn't.
Nice.
So that also means he doesn't know how to turn it off. So have fun.
I wonder if I go to the in-car cam, will it give me the tick-tick?
I don't know. Let's find out.
It does not have a turn signal noise. That is
man.
disappointment.
I don't know if this actual car had turn. Well, I guess it does, right? Because it's based on the production car.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you look at the center console, it's still got the air conditioning.
Yeah, well, I wonder if it works. The fan is on currently.
Got the vents too. That's pretty much a factory dash. It's pretty cool.
It is pretty neat.
I'm just looking at the air vents right now, and it's the only setting is heat.
You get no air conditioning.
If you turn the temperature, like there's only a red, there's no blue. Huh.
Take a look if I can see.
I'm going to assume that's
there.
not reflective of the road car.
Yeah, no, I assume there would be air conditioning in a Mercedes.
Well, to be fair, the dial it's currently set to the dial that is blue. There is a blue dot. So maybe you get different degrees of heat, but you only get one cold.
That is to maximum cold. That's all you get.
Asking the important questions here.
Absolutely. The ins and outs of race car air conditioning systems.
Yeah, just within half a second of the man of the hour, Michael Cozier. He's not the man of the hour. I don't know why I said that, but
He is the man of the hour now. That
He's man of the hour. Oh, speaking of the man of the hour, he's missed the corner.
Yeah, and Gag's getting a really good exit out of there, so I think he's going to have 5th here. We'll see.
It's going to be really funny when these guys crash into the second chicane.
Oh, we will see. Let's auto cam doing some weird stuff there. Let's get back to this battle as they zip on through. Jump through the second chicane here. Who's going to be brave? Neither of them. Although Gag's getting a decent exit there. Good of him to kind of check up into the chicane, try to carry more speed through, rather than trying to kind of drive up Michael Closier's rear end into the chicane, which is always much dicier, right? So I think he's going to have him through here. He does have the inside line, at least for the first sector. They're going to go side by side. He's going to try to over-under. He's going to make it stick. Ooh.
Close battling.
Yeah, defending hard.
I couldn't tell who was doing it, but coming out of the second chicane, one of them hit the rev limiter twice while shifting. Might have been Cozier. Not 100% sure though, so I don't want to blame him.
Just 3 a.m. Honda things.
Yeah, they do be like that.
Gag's gonna have a look.
Move into the hairpin.
He's gonna have a look, but Michael's gonna close the door.
He knows it's a bit early for that move.
Absolutely, Gag's putting a really good lap type in last lap, and we'll see the difference now. Ooh, getting a little bit out of sorts for the second to last. I think that'll give Michael a little bit of a gap, but Michael misses the apex there, and the other Michael's gonna get a really good exit. So it's Doip. Michael actually lifting there a little bit.
For the first corner. Because you're using a bit of the inside curb, unsettles the car, going to lose a ton of time.
Yeah, and I think Gaglione's going to be able to slip on through. Doug actually getting a front row seat to this battle. I wonder if he's going to be ready to pounce soon as well. As I think Gaglione's going to be able to clear towards the first corner, but it's going to be close. Cozier's going to try to late brake. They're going to go side by side. He's going to have to let up, and going to cost him his exit too, which is going to open him up to get attacked by Mr. Doug Newman close behind, who gains a half second on Michael Cozier through that corner.
Doug, I think, might have gotten a pretty bad exit. He seems to be sliding it a little bit. Don't know if he absolutely lost. I don't know if he lost a little bit.
Getting very loose.
Whoa!
The second chicane there. Little tank slapper. And that's going to pull Doug much closer to him as well.
And a lot of cars seem to be doing that just because of the nature of how steep those curbs are.
Absolutely.
Remember, the chicane was really designed to slow the cars down, which is why the car's not stable through it, because it doesn't want to go through that corner that fast. Jackson has missed it.
For sure. You have a mixture of tall curbs and very, very stiff suspension, and these cars are very, very stiff as well in general. So any little bump really unsettles them, and with the worn tires, it's just going to, you're going to get all kinds of wacky action.
The worn tires will exasperate too, because of the nature of just straight up Assetto Corsa's physics. You will naturally kind of hit the curb and then skip and feel it a little bit more. The stiff springs aren't going to be helping it, and then also the worn tires aren't going to be helping it because you're going to be bleeding less side slip speed.
Let's look at Doug and Mike here as Doug closing in a lot to the stadium section. I wonder if he's going to try something for this last little set of corners as we get through the Saxa Curve once again.
The only corner we know the name of.
It's the only corner that matters,
Comes
Josh.
Out of the final corner.
Let's be honest.
Wow.
Doug in an excellent run.
Well, that's chicane 3.
He's going to have a look inside.
Oh, maybe going to try a dive bomb. Maybe. Ooh, not quite. A little bit of overlap. Doug going to lose that, but he's still going to be within draft range.
Absolutely. It's just, turn one's a very tricky spot to try to send a move there, especially because, being on the outside, you will get the exit speed advantage, and it's going to help you on this straight in a big way. Doug losing out huge there because of it. I mean, he's just dropping back like a rock. He's dropping back like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
The Rock. Speaking of, this is a throwback, right? Remember the Chevy Like a... Excuse me.
Like a Rock?
Like a Rock commercial?
Absolutely, yes.
Like a Rock?
It's the Jackson
Anyway.
getting past Phil there. Did Phil have a bit of an issue? Or sorry, Jackson rather. Phil up to 8th. Phil doing the Lord's work. He's getting there, man. Really, really good. Ooh, Doug and
Phil got past Jackson.
Oh, Doug and Michael getting out of sorts.
Oh,
Doug
no!
running too deep. Oh man, they both get going again. And luckily they had a lot of gap behind. But that's gonna cost their run towards the front of the pack there. Gaglione now 6 whole seconds ahead of Coisier. So yeah, no, for sure. Gaglione did right to get by him when he did. And you know, Doug is obviously trying to make that move stick, but Doug's having a bit of a rough time for that second chicane, and you know, getting friendly with a lot of her drivers this evening.
Val and Thomas are battling each other as Joseph Yang comes into the pits.
We have our first pit stop.
It's a little bit before the halfway point, and maybe that's the strategy.
Wonder if he's going to fill a little long and try to make something work there and just try to go to the end.
Maybe he might. See him filling.
Pretty long stop. Is he still seating there, or is he just getting out?
He's still there, and he's down and away.
There he goes.
He's still going to come out in 4th.
Will Gaglione be able to get by? He is going to be compromised a little bit on this straight.
Rozier's in the pits.
So we will see.
Coming to the pits. Dimitri has absolutely blown the chicane.
Yeah, Gaglione's going to...
We've got the battle for the lead, though.
Let's sit in with Val here on his roof as we get down into the second chicane, which has been not the best spot for Val this evening.
I think this might just break some more hearts.
We will see. Taking all the curb, all the second curb, getting lots of air, touch of grass. Thomas taking a lot of curb there as well, but seems to be able to keep it on track a little better than Val can, and gets a better exit. So that 0.3 second gap is now 0.8.
Larson and Paul Todd also battling. Paul Todd's going to be getting way out of shape.
Let's take a look here. Val's really got to focus out of his exit of the chicane. All the drivers seem to be using a lot of the grass there.
Almost run a ton of curb, and that's surprising. Oh, yeah. Lee has spun in the Sox curve.
Well, and he gets going again, but not before Giuliano unlaps himself, I guess.
Yeah, Giuliano had that issue. He had a toe earlier when he was probably about, 70-80% through the lap, but because of he towed, it means it reset him, and it basically didn't count his entire lap, put him all the way back, putting the lap down early in the race.
That
Paul
is
Todd coming to the pits.
That is quite whack from Assetto Corsa, not gonna lie.
That is pretty whack.
You think with a toe you would get your lap, even if you don't complete the lap, because you are getting around the track one way or another.
Yeah, for real.
Val being able to close that gap back up through the stadium section with a strong turn one here. We might see this battle rage on to the first chicane. He is within draft range. Seems to get a pretty good exit and is closing slowly. Going to be within 0.3 now, so getting a 10th so far. Closing in more rapidly. 0.2. We watch the time come down as he takes a look outside with the extra speed. Coming through the chicane here, he's going to have to check up. Takes a lot of curb at the inside, gets a really good exit as Thomas runs wide. Does he get the move done?
We're going to be going side by side in the second chicane. Oh no.
Let's sit on the roof.
Thomas might back out. Val a little bit less. Val's a nice guy. He might let go, but at the end of the day, he's going to want that pass. He's alongside.
Val's going to let him go. He's going to force Thomas to take the long way around. But it's going to cost both of them time, as obviously, Val can't really get on the throttle until Thomas clears that corner when you're that close. So, all in all,
I think it was
nothing. I think it was the right move. Obviously, going too wide through there is a non-option. Val getting a run now in the draft. We'll see if he can stick it out through this next chicane here, chicane number 3. Thomas ducking out of it. Val running a little deep. Gets all out of sorts. Ooh,
Whoa,
just
way
catches it.
sideways through it.
And Thomas is going to be able to take advantage of that and get the run. A little bit of a lift.
And through, getting towards the stadium section now. Val using all that pavement wide.
Oh, Val going way wide. He managed to keep it on track. Only just touch of grass. Thomas getting much better sorted through there. As Val, I guess, is feeling the pressure. And feeling the wear probably of those worn tires as he's blowing past corners. And Thomas having the answer, but just not quite enough to get past, because obviously that's another thing entirely, right? Keeping up is one thing, but if you can make that car as wide as possible, then hey, you're not getting around, that's for sure, as these drivers go around for another lap.
Alan Thomas getting on it.
Thomas running really wide at turn 1 there.
Gaglione having a problem with the Sox curve.
Oh, I think he's tangling with Dimitri there, who's a lap down.
He rejoined in front of Dimitri. Doug Newman was
Doug
trying to
Newman
capitalize
right on
lap
him.
traffic. Right there with him. 0.2 seconds. I don't think he's close enough to make a move, but he's going to definitely try and get a good exit coming out of this first corner. Seems to get a pretty good dig. Not a lot of sliding. Going to get the draft on the run to the first chicane.
Absolutely. Let's sit in with Doug here. See what's going on. Sit on the in-car view as we run through the chicane here. See, the cars seem to really close in a lot once you hit 3/10. It's pretty rapid, actually, how fast they close in. Ooh, get a little tight through there, trying to give each other the space. A little awkward, but both trying to make it out unscathed. I think the net beneficiary of that will be Michael. Obviously, as Doug ended up in a really awkward spot, not able to get a good exit, although the draft will help him close back up now. The second chicane. Do we think they're going to be as friendly to each other as it was with Thomas and Val? Doug not trying to go too crazy, I guess, knowing his past little record through the race. So he just kind of scoots on and keeps going.
Oh, Jackson and Phillip are battling into the first chicane. Jackson misses the corner.
Well, Phil's going to be able to benefit in a big way. Flashers do be flashing away.
Yeah,
Phil up into 7th place now. So really, really good work from Phil this race, just to, keeping out of trouble and really, trying to maximize his chances, really trying to capitalizing on, I guess, others' mistakes and just being consistent. So really, really solid race for him so far. Gaglione and Doug
Newman
going at it. I think Doug actually cleared Gaglione through the third chicane there. Now we run at the stadium section. Skaggs is going to be very, very close, trying to battle for that position back.
Race kind of settling in. We saw that first wave of a couple pit stops, and we didn't seem to see any stops after that point, so that was kind of interesting. I was expecting a lot more stops, but apparently not.
Absolutely. We are trundling towards the halfway point. So we will see now as if more drivers pit in. Dimitri pits in, so he's in the pits and going for his, which should be his only stop. Yeah, race is pretty well settled. It's going, it's doing its thing. Got time for a 190E DTM fun fact.
Please, go ahead.
So, funny thing about the Nardo ring, actually, as I was looking up this fact, Porsche owns the Nardo ring in Italy. I did not know that. That's fairly interesting. But regardless, Mercedes used to rent out Nardo along with a bunch of other manufacturers back in the 80s and 90s all the time to test top speed on vehicles. Famous Nardo ring in Italy. Very long circular track where you can go very, 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 very fast. With the 190E 2.3 Cosworth, which is the road car on which this DTM car is based, Mercedes would rent out the Nürburgring to set speed, distance, and endurance records. With the 190E 2.3, they covered 50,000 kilometers in 200 hours in the car.
That's not a lot, actually, when you think about it.
They blew through 3 service intervals in the process.
Did they have to do like oil changes?
I don't actually know.
Like, certainly they would have, right?
You'd think, but like, let's find out. Let's get some more information.
Like, they'd have to, right? Because otherwise, if the engine's still constantly running at a higher RPM without an oil change, like, it certainly would fail. Like, Mercedes can build some durable cars, but like, certainly, like, that's a bit much. I wouldn't trust a Toyota to run 3 times.
Yeah, so they said.
Interval.
Yeah, so they did 25,000 kilometers, 25,000 miles, and 50,000 kilometers was all the records they went for. So the 50,000 kilometer mark was 201 hours, 39 minutes, and 43 seconds. And did they have to do maintenance? I'm trying to see, and I can't find.
They would have.
They did modify the cooling system to handle the abuse to run in high temperatures, but I think apparently that was it.
They would have had to do oil changes. Jackson's going to get by Phillip here. Phillip kind of just missed the corner. Man, you know what track I missed from what we did last time? I missed the Lausitz ring. That was a fun track.
Lausitz ring was pretty sweet.
I thought it was fun.
Let's see. I'm taking a look right now. We're looking at the Mercedes-Benz archives for this. We're really pulling out all the stops here. Okay, that makes more sense. So, let's see here. Oh no, they did obviously stop for maintenance and stuff. But there's 3 vehicles involved. Apparently, I don't know if it was 3 different vehicles. No, it says a Mercedes 190E. Covers a distance of 50,000 kilometers, setting a new world record with an average speed of 247.9 kilometers an hour.
All right, what was the average?
247.9.
Oh, dude.
That's
kilometers. That's pretty fast.
That's bananas.
It is pretty quick. Lee Larson is pit.
Yeah, Jackson and Phil battling it out here as well. Phil not giving up without a fight. Seems to try to have a look here. See if he can break late. Jackson's 4-ways are still on.
These guys have been trading places.
Absolutely. Jackson getting ahead of Phil, Phil on ahead of Jackson, just kind of going back and forth. So really good battle from these 2 guys. Definitely the closest that we have on the track by a long shot. Nathan Hodgen's in the pits now. Joseph Yang is going to get ahead. I believe Doug is now in the pits as well. Gaglione in the pits. Lee Larson. So I'm assuming, I guess all of our drivers that are kind of doing the one-stop stint on mediums for the most part are starting to slip in. Only drivers that still haven't pit in the top 5 now are Val and Thomas. Let's take a look at Phillip and Jackson once again. Battle for 7th place. They're keeping each other honest. They're keeping each other honest. It's a good race. Jackson still has his 4-ways on. It's good stuff all around.
Gags is now out of the pits. Val still hasn't stopped, has he? Almost 5 seconds behind him. Walter beat, making a trip down pit road. Well, we're at the point where the race is kind of just happening.
Absolutely. Jackson and Gaglione actually closed up because Gags took his pit stop. But I imagine Gags on fresh tires should be able to pull away no problem. Yeah, it's chugging along. 45 minutes left. Do we think we have time for an ad break?
Yeah, so let's go for a traditional halfway ad break.
All right, let's do it. We will see y'all in a little bit. And we are back. So the two leaders, well, Val and Thomas respectively, our top two drivers, did duck into the pits for their pit stop. Val getting a much quicker pit stop for whatever reason than Thomas and ended up 5 seconds ahead at the end. So now Val rejoins in second place. Joseph Yang taking his pit stop fairly early, maintains his 5 second or 6 second lead now over Val. So maybe a little bit of time loss overall compared to the gap earlier in the race, but we will see if this works out with him with the longer fuel stint, and you know, obviously going to be running longer on these tires than the guys behind, but gamble seems to have paid off so far. Joseph getting around, looks like Randy Zimmer there in 13th through the second chicane there, a little bit of an awkward spot, but he gets it done no problem. And zipping along, looks like Philip is now in the pits.
Philip's going down pit road. Brady's in the pits. Well, Todd has gone off in the final chicane. The second chicane, rather. I keep calling it the final chicane. It's not the final chicane. Just being back in the lead.
Yep, Val is closing in. He's closed the second this lap. So we'll see now as the battle for the lead might hot up with the last 43 minutes. We're going to see what happens. Val using all the track as he enters the stadium section.
I mean, that's how you're going to be fast. Thomas not using as much, but still using some.
Sipping through here. Joseph's been doing enough so far. He's been, you know, just had a fairly quiet race and he's just turning in pretty consistent, you know, lap times, and it's been really working in his favor. So, you know, still a lot of race left. So, you know, should be pretty good chance for Val to at least catch Joseph. But I mean, Joseph, if he keeps doing what he's doing, he might have a good shot at the win here.
Randy has finally pit.
I believe he is the last one to box.
This out of me dropping something. Joseph Yang still leads. Joseph Yang has his flashers on now.
Oh God, it do be like that. Banging off the rev limiter out of the first chicane as I hit my microphone. And Val, yeah, still 5.5 seconds. I mean, we'll see now that he's had his out lap, and this will be his first flyer. We'll see where the pace lies at the end of this lap. But by the looks at the relatives, it's really, you know, it's kind of just sitting where it sits. Through the second chicane, Val using all of that, getting a nice clean exit there. Car much more settled. Seems to be by using a lot of that inside curb instead of the first outside curb. It's that, I guess, that 1-2 hit which really unsettles the car versus just kind of clobbering one curb on the right-hand side, and the car just will kind of drop down and settle versus kind of, you know, hitting the left then the right. The car is almost kind of oscillating on both ends of the suspension. That's what really causes it to unsettle.
I was trying to listen. I have a theory that Joseph Yang may be fuel saving. I'm not certain.
Could be interesting. I mean, that would pull him right back into Val, but I wonder if he short fueled a little too much.
I don't think so, actually. If he is, I can't notice. I think it's actually just the sound of the engine off the throttle when he's braking, obviously, right?
Absolutely. Val's closing in a lot of time that lap. 2:19.151 versus Joseph with a 2:20.953. So, I mean, Val's a man on a mission, and it might be enough. Might be enough. We will see as he closes in over the next couple laps. He's going to get real close in a short period of time, as long as he can keep that pace up. My goodness, do we have time for a Mercedes Benz 190E Cosworth fun fact?
Yes.
So, the 1990 Mercedes-Benz 190E 2.5 16 Evolution 2, which is the final production version of the 190E Cosworth 2.3, except this one's a 2.5. One just sold on Bring a Trailer like a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
For $432,432.
So they're just the Evo 2.
It's the Evo 2, yes. So it is. It's got the 2.5 liter.
Basically, it's got the body.
It's got the body kit on it. It's number 473 of 502 Evo 2s produced. It's got a sunroof, self-leveling suspension, some dank 17-inch alloy wheels, the AMG power pack.
I'm interested in self-leveling suspension.
Yeah, right.
How does that work?
I don't know. This one is finished in Blauschwarz, which is black. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, so the 2.5 16. Let's see what's good with this.
1.5 liter 16 valve.
Yeah, so it's developed by Cosworth completely. It's got a short stroke and a larger bore than the standard 2.5 16. That's part of the Evolution 2 pack. This one also has the AMG power pack, so you get throttle body, air intake, camshafts, ECU programming, exhaust system. This motor, 1990, mind you, 4-cylinder, naturally aspirated, 2.5 liters, so a good amount of displacement. But you know, still 1990, so you know, keep that in mind. 232 horsepower was the output, which is
that's pretty big out of an engine.
That's pretty good for 1990, naturally aspirated. You know, no outside turbocharged help. It's pretty good stuff.
That is respectable.
Yeah, so
and it revs real high too. Well, that helps with the power, right?
Yeah. No, these things are certainly valuable. There was another 1990 Evo 2 that sold on Bring a Trailer in December. Oh, never mind. Excuse me. Sorry, that one that sold for $432,000 sold yesterday.
Oh, cool.
There was another one that sold in December 27th, 2021, for $215,000. So the Evolutions are obviously very sought after.
Prices are going up, apparently.
Absolutely. If you do find a regular 190E 2.3 Cosworth, they could still be had for 25 to 50 grand, depending on the condition and the mileage. Kind of older mile ones, sitting around 30. Some even less. So yeah, still, especially on the, I guess, the more common end of it, they are pretty cheap. But if you want an Evo model, oof, prepare to fork out the big bucks.
I mean, you buy the diesel version and just
suffer. run it on biodiesel, on used Taco Bell cooking oil.
Is that true?
Yeah, you can. Totally can. It's totally a thing. Your car will smell like tacos.
I thought so.
It's pretty lit. As
I
we're
feel like
checking
I
in
don't want
with
that,
Val
actually.
and oh man, Val getting a really good exit of last chicane.
That one.
He's gonna send it, and I think it's gonna stick. And it is. Joseph Yang has no choice but to filter in behind. Val taking the lead of this race. Let's take a look. Yeah, Val with an absolute barnstorm of a last lap at 2:18.6. Closing so much time to Joseph Yang. Joseph really consistent, 2:20.9s his last few laps, but obviously I guess taking that early pit stop in you know, more fuel is just really cost him pace towards the latter half of this race.
I think too, Yankees tires are going to be a bit more worn at this point. Not that there's going to be a large portion of the lap where you're using your tires. But these tires are going to be a bit less worn, or a bit more worn. Going to be a bit less grippy. Val's also just incredibly fast. Val now leading the race.
Absolutely. Let's look in with Doug in 5th, close behind to Nathan Hodgins here. Battle for 4th. Doug, I'm sure, is eager to get closer to the podium once again after, you know, rough start and a lot of tangles. The butt stiff driver seems to get a pretty good exit of the last corner, closing in. But I wonder, he might have a luck, but he's better off doing what he's doing, which is trying to close off, getting a really good exit. Nathan getting all kinds of sideways, and that's going to bring him into Doug's hands. As we see now, that 0.3 of a second gap is going to close rapidly as the draft gets stronger and stronger. Doug within a 10th now, taking a look on the inside as we go through the first chicane. Slips by pretty cleanly. Goes deep. Goes deep.
He's going to be way off track.
Oh, man. And that's going to cost him, and I think he's going to have to filter in back behind Nathan, as Nathan has a much cleaner line to that corner.
I was looking through my fun facts for a sec. I actually missed what happened there.
Yeah, Doug ended up going really deep into the corner, I guess, trying to get ahead of Nathan into the first chicane as they were side by side. And yeah, just too deep and clipped a lot of the inside curb and ended up on the grass. So really rough luck for Doug. Although he does get a really good exit of the second chicane now, so we'll see into the third whether he can make something happen. Let's ride on board on the roof. Has the run. Cars seesawing back and forth. Some classic Assetto Corsa netcode stuff going on. Well, let's go. Doug's going to run it deep again. Makes it stick, no problem. Using all the curb. And gets it done. Doug into 4th place. Nathan now back into 5th.
It's kind of ongoing. Nathan trying to get back on Doug as they go to the infield. The infield? Yeah, I guess. Stadium section, infield, sure. You could argue it's similar to an infield.
Yeah, I would argue as such. I mean, is it in a field?
I mean, debate it. Well, it's not in a forest.
Do you know why they call it Indy Field?
Thank you.
It's because they're in the field.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. You're very welcome.
It's yeah, it's a good joke. Thanks.
I'm here all week, everybody.
I just shut that down. But yeah.
Nathan trying to kind of take an interesting line.
I've always wondered why that first corner has twice as many colored curbs, I guess is what you'd call it, on the outside than on the inside.
That's a good question. I do not know the answer.
It's just laid out really weird. I don't know.
Yeah, let's look at, we'll get to see that first corner again as we look at Michael Koisier up to 7th now as Jackson's in the pits. So very late pit stop from Jackson.
Yeah, Jackson finally pitted. Maybe he might have tried to stick it out on the harder tires. I don't know.
Not sure, but he is in his box now. Philip's still
more conservative on the
way down the road, coming through the last corner now. I think he's going to end up ahead of Jackson here. Jackson might still be sitting in the pits here. So we'll see. Yeah, Jackson gets by as, Philip gets by. Jackson is still stuck in the pits, just getting out now.
Going Val. Viang appears to be dropping back from Val.
Yeah, Joseph Viang only able to muster a 221 flat his last lap. Val doing a 219.8.
He's not that. Excuse me, holy crap. He's not that crazy far away. That's still within range, or if Val makes a mistake.
Absolutely. I mean, like he does have a huge gap to 3rd place with Thomas behind. Thomas, let's take a look at his pace, see how he's doing. Thomas doing a 224 his last lap, so I wonder if he got tangled up with some lap traffic. as we see him approaching some more lap traffic. And I believe that is Laszlo Thomas. Laszlo? Thomas slipping on through. Thomas with a much faster lap time, last lap 2:21.7, but you know, Joseph only 0.3 slower on much older tires. So Joseph's going to have a nice, comfortable second place here as long as he can kind of keep it out of the cabbage over the last 30 minutes. Once again, like you're saying too, with Val can make some mistake, then Joseph is close enough to capitalize. Val driving like a stabbed rat, just absolutely on a mission. 2:18.390, just zipping on through. Going through the second chicane here. Big old sendies, using a lot of that inside curb, sticking it and ripping it. It's the good stuff.
That's just happening at this point.
Yep. We got 30 minutes remaining.
Jackson's on his out lap. Closest battle on track right now between Walter and Brady with a 2.3 second gap.
Oh,
Also,
Brady
Doug
running wide there. I
Hockenheim.
think Walter's going to be able to slip on through and take the lead. Or 10th
no,
place,
there
rather.
goes-
Excuse me. There
I
goes
was
Brady.
gonna say,
The lead
Walter's
of the
on the
top
10th.
10. Or, no, that's still the leader.
tail of the top end.
Yeah, the tail of the top 10. They squeezed me.
Jose Yang might have made a mistake. Seems to have lost a couple seconds.
Wonder if that those worn set of tires are starting to get to him.
Could be. Gagloni and Nathan get close for 5th. Gags is going to have to negotiate the lap traffic of Lee Larson.
Will get the draft here, maybe. I wonder if Lee's going to let him slip on through as they get to the stadium section, or if he's going to have to wait till the corner here. Gags
Gags
going to
a
slip
huge
inside. Gets it done. Not too
Gets
much
by
time
them.
loss.
And it gets him closer to Nathan, 1.5 seconds behind him. That is attainable. Somebody's sideways in the second chicane. I don't know who it is, though.
Can't really tell based on
Somebody,
the
I don't
time
know.
drops.
I saw someone go sideways on the map. Who knows? Might have been Dimitri. I'm not certain. Takes 1.7 seconds. Gags last lap at 2:21.02. Nathan's last lap at 2:22.8.
Yeah, Gaglione
Is a bit
closing that
slower.
gap. And he's going to have a good chance now to claw back that top 5 position as he closes even more, now within 1.1 seconds.
Go through the first chicane. First chicane is quite forgiving, actually. It seems to really be the third one seems the drivers seem to be carrying. I don't know how well the third one compared to the first one. Drivers seem to be able to carry a lot more speed through the third one than they're able to do
Yeah,
this one.
they seem to be able to use more of that that curb, so it's making a huge difference.
Have to see how it goes. Banging through the curbs of the second chicane, get back up through the gears coming out of that long sweeper. Come down the back straight. I don't know where the back straight technically is at this track. I assume it'd be the run between the second chicane and the third chicane. Officially, I don't know.
Second chicane sure is dicey. That is no question. We saw it at the start of the
The
race.
second chicane is kind of a little bit fun. I mean, the drivers are all going to realize I'm just doing it so I can watch them suffer. But that second chicane really is fun. Speaking of suffering, Phil has spun out of the first chicane.
Uh-oh. Big
He's going to
oopsie
get passed by his
whoopsie.
brother again. They are brothers, right?
Allegedly.
Not a goof. Allegedly. Jackson still has his high beams on.
Oh,
By
the
high beams, I
flashes.
mean hazards. It's been a long day.
Is it me or is the camera doing some weird... Sky's doing some weird stuff, getting bright and not bright all over again. weird Assetto Corsa things.
That's pretty acceptable Corsa.
But is
Now,
it
positive
acceptable
it is
Corsa?
No. Oh, Dimitri has spun in the first chicane. Trouble.
Whoopsie, oopsie, whoopsie.
He hits the wall.
Slip spike, it merges back on track, keeps it going. Oh, Gags and
Oh, Nathan has
Nathan
lost it.
losing it through turn 1. Gags getting by and back into 5th place. That's gonna cost Nathan dearly. A lot of time and frankly, you know, any chance really of being able to battle Gaglione back. Gaglione now, I mean, has his work cut out for him to catch Doug in 4th, but seems to be closing pretty good. Oh, as he absolutely straight lines through the chicane. Completely missing his braking zone.
I wonder if I'll get a slowdown for that. I might have not been paying attention. Watch him come through the... Forgot to count. Second chicane.
See as he slips through, a lot of left-hand curve, not a lot of left-hand, a lot of right-hand. That seems to be the move. Trying to maximize that use of that right-hand curb without touching the tire, and trying to minimize the left-hand curb touchies. That's what seems to really unsettle the car, is the 1-2 hit.
Excellent Oliveira. So it's a new personal best, 220.54.
We flying.
So we have 24.5 minutes remaining.
Yeah, I mean, top 6 is pretty dang spread out. Top 8's pretty spread out. Closest battle we got is Paul Todd on Randy, 1.8 seconds. And then we got Philip and Jackson Oliveira with 3 seconds between them. Let's check in with Randy here. Randy Zimmer against Paul Todd here. Let's see what happens. Paul had a really slow last lap, 227. Randy much faster with 224, so able to close that gap quite a bit. We will see if Randy can make a move or do something sendy.
Maybe send him it.
Yeah, seems to be closing that gap, 1.3 now, so just closing in little by little. Randy losing a bit of time through that sector there.
You don't want to be doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. Phil actually closing quite a bit to Jackson. Only 1.9, 1.8. So we'll see what Philip can do.
And we're going. I mean,
It's trucking along. We got 22 minutes,
there.
30 seconds. Phil closing the gap slowly. We have time for a short little ad break.
yeah, so why not?
Let's do it. We will see y'all in a bit. We are back. Once again, we'd like to thank our sponsors. Of course, Hip Motorsports, who we just saw the ad roll there of. Lots of sim racing fun there. We got 13 Motorsports, automotive shop based in Brampton, performance shop. You can get parts, service done there, as well as Adrena Garage if you're in the Oakville, Hamilton area. Adrena has been a great supporter, and all three sponsors have been providing prizes for the drivers, so we thank them. And of course, Ontario Time Attack for being able to put this on. As we see Philip getting onto the grass there through the third chicane, and that's gonna hurt him in his battle for 8th against Jackson Oliveira. He was able to close in within 2 seconds, about a second and a half, but yeah, no, it's rough for him. I think Jackson actually had an issue there because he's been able to close that gap right back. I think Jackson must be really struggling on that worn set of tires, which is interesting because I think he was one of the last cars to pit. I wonder if he decided to skip tires altogether and take more fuel, or not sure what the strat was, but he seems to be struggling for pace.
Might have switched to a harder compound tire, a mistake. He might even be saving a little bit.
Absolutely. Either way, a 2:24.8 his last lap. Phil now within a second with a 2:24.0. Despite Phil going completely off at the third chicane, has really not lost too much ground in the grand scheme of things, based on who he's racing against. So this battle is going to, I'm sure, continue to hot up throughout the last 19 minutes and 45 seconds of this race. As for our lead check-in, I mean, Val's got the headiest lead I think that we've seen this entire series so far, followed by Thomas in front of Joseph there, rather. So Joseph in second, Thomas about 9 seconds behind, Doug about 9 seconds behind him, Gaglione about 12, 11-ish seconds behind him, and then Nathan about 13-ish seconds behind him. So yeah, no, it's really, really spread. Basically until this battle for 8th here, it's really spread out. So Phil now within a second.
Phil's gaining on him.
He is catching him. We try to get onto Phil's roof here, so we get a nice shot of the action. Jackson's four-ways still on, in case you were wondering.
Jackson being courteous with other drivers, letting him know where he is.
Absolutely. Phil tucking it in, use a bunch of curb, just a touch, use the outside though, yep. Jackson getting a real good run through the chicane there, gaining 4/10 on Phil. So, Phil's really gonna have to be patient, hit his marks, and really just try to see if he can capitalize on a mistake or an error from Jackson. So we come through the stadium section here. Come down on the brakes. Phil pushes a little wide, but tries to kind of tuck it back in for the exit. Getting a little out of sorts, but manages to catch it.
Yeah, Phil got a little bit loose there.
Carrying a lot of speed to the second to last corner there. We're rushing a bit wide. Got to really focus on your exit. I'm sure he's having a good time. I'm sure he's having a real good time, and he's working hard. So we'll see if he can head down, focus, and really try to take this fight to the end.
They're both doing quite similar lap times, actually.
Absolutely. The over-under, I mean, Jackson having a rough go at certain corners, but Phil, having a rough go at others, and it's been level pegging, right? Each driver does have their distinct advantages, but it's they really, nobody's having an answer for each other right now. Jackson is being able to pull away for a little bit, but Phil's had a better luck through the second chicane, so I wonder if he'll gain some time back there.
So now the trends, Paul Todd is catching Randy. The second chicane.
Philip taking a whack ton of curb, and I think that's going to cost him ultimately. Now he's 2 seconds back. Not sure if he's feeling the pressure or what's going on, but yeah, I mean, closest battle we have on track right now is actually back in 14th, the battle for 14th. We have Paul Todd 1.3 seconds behind Randy here for 14th place. So we'll sit in with this for a little bit, see if anything comes of it, and then we'll have to check back in with Philip and Jackson later on.
1.3 seconds between Randy and Paul.
Yeah, Paul clipping through the track there. It was very, very strange and odd. Just to settle course of things once again.
Newman's coming through the final chicane. Or the second. I keep calling the second chicane the final chicane.
That ain't it, Chief. Ooh, Paul getting a real good run as Randy struggles through the last complex of corners. Paul now within 0.6. He's really focused on his first corner here. Looks like Randy gets the better exit. I noticed he did have to lift there slightly through turn 1 to try to keep it on track and keep her out of the cabbage.
Keeps it going. Still going. Joseph Yang's gaining a little bit. Joseph Yang also has his flashers on. I'm not even sure how he did that. Oh, Philip absolutely blows the first chicane, slides through the grass, gonna lose all that progress.
Like a boss.
He did a pretty good job holding on to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Keeps her going straight. 3.5 seconds, but I mean, he's had some strong laps as we look at Paul and Randy going through the second chicane there. Paul really checking up there, but still looks to get a better exit than Randy there. These drivers that are a little bit further back in the midfield really not sending it as hard through the chicane as our top few drivers, but obviously, you know, it's definitely keeping the car much more settled and probably much easier to manage. You know, as we've seen some of our top drivers setting it too hard for the top chicane, that's cost them. You know, this late stage in the race, the last thing you want is an issue. You kind of just want to get to the end. So these drivers are doing what they can. Paul touched on a little bit of the grass there.
There's a place where you're going to make a risky move. It's going to be the end of the race, and we have just under 14 minutes remaining. I think, I don't know what I think. I think Paul Todd's going to be able to make this move on Randy.
I think so. He does push a little wide through the stadium section here, coming towards the Saxe curve.
He's getting a little bit desperate.
Yeah. Let's see now here. Randy's really struggled through this last set of corners, last few laps. Paul can really focus on getting a good exit here. Seems to get a good exit. Got to focus on the first corner here, try to maximize. Get on the power. Nice and clean. Ooh, having to get out of it. Got loose on exit there.
Pretty good. Looked like a Phil 5 seconds behind Jackson. Lost a lot of time.
Absolutely. Phil's just kind of chugging away.
Thomas is gaining a bit on Joseph, though. It was down to 5 seconds. Now it's up to 6 seconds. I think it's just due to the variances in the track.
Yeah, chicanes tend to swing the relative around like crazy.
Yeah, it seems to consistently be getting a bit closer. Maybe Joseph Yang's tires they might be going off.
Phil zipping through the second chicane here. Actually really close to Paul Todd up ahead. Oh, Paul Todd loops it.
No.
And that's going to cost him in his battle against Randy, who's going to have a comfortable 14th now.
So there goes any chance of him catching Randy.
Absolutely. So closest battle really looks to be Thomas now at this point against Joseph Yang.
If Yang loses it out of the first chicane, I think he lost it on entry and on exit. That's going to cost him back to Thomas.
Yeah, Thomas now only 3.5 seconds-ish by the end of this.
Walter B, the nice lapped car, not going to race him through the chicane. Brady's gone off track, loses
Yep,
time back
Brady
to Walter.
dumping it there. Walter gets to slip on through. Brady dropping back into 11th. Thomas now 3.1 seconds behind Joseph. Joseph's flashers flashing away. Thomas is going to have to get through Walter first, but seems to have the pace. This late stage, we got 10 minutes and 50 seconds left, so we will see now what happens.
Thomas now 2.4 seconds behind Joseph. I think Joseph Yang's tires are going.
Absolutely.
I think he's making it. He's really conserving his tires here.
Absolutely. He's really doing what he can as Thomas is approaching Walter now for the...
he just doesn't seem as confident on them.
Absolutely not. I mean, Thomas is being able to close down a whole boatload of time this lap. Walter kind of in the way, excuse me, in the way a little bit, but we'll see. He does lift to let Thomas through.
Thomas probably letting him know, hey, I'm racing for position.
Absolutely. Slipping on through. He'll try, I mean, he will get the draft here. Gonna drag race a little bit down the straight, but Thomas is gonna slip on by. Loses a little bit of time. Back down to almost 3 seconds now to Joseph. So that little bit of lap traffic certainly helped Joseph out in his race here with the last 9-ish minutes left.
Over 9 minutes remaining. Battle for second heating up. Thomas is racing Walter. It's going to cost him time. I imagine he's not going to be happy about that.
Absolutely not. I mean, 3.8 seconds now. So, I mean, this late charge is really, I mean, like, not for anything. But
I get why he's doing it, though, because Walter's trying to race Brady, who's less than 3 seconds behind him.
Absolutely.
But really, just an unfortunate situation because neither of them can afford to miss the corner.
Oh, Thomas!
Whoa, Thomas gets a bit deep into the brake zone.
Oh, goodness. Thomas, that's going to cost him severely, battling with the lapped car there. Really unfortunate for him is, you know, obviously, you understand that blue flag cars are racing for position as well behind them, but, you know.
Yeah, they got to race.
You got to.
They got their own thing.
They got their own thing going, but at the same time, you know, you gotta make sure that everyone is allowed to race their own race, and you give them the space, right? So, you know, it's actually gonna break Thomas right back into Brady now. So maybe Brady gets a nice little tow out of this and some pace, and brings himself closer to Walter for that last position in the top 10.
You might be able to get him. I don't know though.
Yeah, it's gonna be tight.
At this point, Thomas has to worry about Doug Newman behind him catching him. You can see a battle for fourth, or for third rather.
Yeah, final podium position. Thomas having a rough go, and that's really playing into Doug's hands here, as they are on similar strategies, so their tires should be in similar places. Doug having good pace throughout the qualifying sessions, and we've seen that in the race as well. Let's sit in with Doug here and see what his last lap was. A 2:19.2, so Doug really on it. Thomas with a 2:25 because of that incident in the second chicane there. So yeah, it's a really rough go for Thomas. You know, when you're trying to battle for that second place position, getting closer and closer, and having a lap car behind you, lap car in front of you, just kind of tangling with you a little bit. It's I'm sure it's very frustrating for him.
Basically got 2 packs of 2 coming into the first chicane now, and 1 car from each pack is racing another car in the other pack.
Yeah, we got Walter and Thomas, and then just behind you got Brady and Doug Newman. Doug getting past Brady, no problem though. Walter letting up to let Thomas by this time, so Thomas is now free to resume his chase after Joseph Yang here. Now, whether or not it will be enough with what I presume is 3 laps to go, including this one, we will see. So let's take a look at Val here. Val's just going through the stadium section. So looking at the lap times here, we may have three laps left this time by.
Running a 2:19.8 last time. Joseph Yang ran a 2:22. Thomas ran a 2:25. Doug Newman ran a 2:19 though.
Yeah, Doug's really
might
on
be
it.
catching him.
Absolutely. Val coming through the last corner here, so yeah, looking at 5:50 on the clock. So we're gonna have probably about 3 laps remaining in this race. Val really, you know, having an eventful race to start with, but especially since his pit stop for fresh tires, he's just been absolutely on a mission. Really putting down strong times. You know, just pulled ahead of Joseph, and he's just pulled away. Very, very dominating race from him.
100% a race well driven. Doug Newman's catching the back of Thomas though. Their
Yep.
battle might not be
Absolutely.
over.
Thomas is catching Joseph. He's been able to pull some of that time back. I mean, it's still 5-ish, 4.5-ish seconds. He was able to pull a second that lap. Now, with 3 laps to go, he's going to have to do a lot better than a second per lap if he wants any chance of battling Joseph Yang.
2.1 seconds the gap now as we pass the 5-minute mark. Gonna be 2 laps left. Doug Newman looking to secure third. He finished 4th last round. Don't think he'll want to do it again.
No, he's gonna want that podium place. I mean, if your eyes are on it and it's not out of reach by any means, he's gonna be hungry.
His last lap was
2:20.2.
6/10.
So 6/10 faster than Thomas. Thomas closing that gap down though pretty significantly. He's down to 3.5-ish seconds almost. Strong run through the chicane there. He's gonna be able to close some more time to Joseph Yang. Yeah, no, sitting about 4 seconds. Doug closing a lot of time, I'm assuming, through that second chicane. Just got a really good run. He's now 1.5 to Thomas. So Thomas is might be a bit of a struggle to hold on that podium position.
1.6 seconds. Doug's looking to get it done. Doug's putting on a pretty hard drive for these last couple laps. See if he can catch him. 1.7 seconds. The closest battle on track. They're now virtually in the same corner.
Absolutely. Doug really not too far behind. It's going to be crucial. Oh, Thomas running really wide. Doug slipping through nice and neat, although he didn't get as much of a run as I thought. I wonder if he had an issue, but he may have checked up as well. But, I mean, good on Thomas to be able to hold it. Thomas now only 3 seconds behind Joseph Yang. 2 laps remain.
Something else, too. Joseph Yang might be saving his last lap at 2:21.8. Thomas's last lap at 2:27. Goes. Gap's 1.5 seconds. This will probably likely be the last lap. Sorry, the second
last lap. Val, I believe, is far ahead enough where he'll be able to call or have control for one last lap for these guys to battle. Thomas now 2.5 seconds to Joseph Yang. Doug Newman still 1.5 seconds behind. So Thomas is doing the Lord's work here to try to close that gap. He's been slow through that chicane though, and that's where Doug's been closing a whole whack-tail load of time. Now within 1 second of Thomas.
1 second is the gap now. Doug will probably catch him, but the more important part is Doug's got to get past him. About 1:20 left. Val coming through the stadium section will take the white flag this time.
Now let's take a look. Val comes to the last couple set of corners. And here's our white flag out. And this will be our last lap for certain. Val crossing the line here. And let's jump back in with Doug and Thomas. Now very close together. I'm sure Doug's going to be very, very hungry for that podium position, especially considering that we are going to be passing the line for the final time and for the last lap. And you know, if you're going to make a move, it's got to be now. You got no more chances.
More importantly, too, he's just getting close enough now where he's going to be within the draft range for this last lap. Really kind of one of the only laps where it's really going to matter.
Absolutely. Joseph Yang not too far up the road either with 2 seconds to Thomas. So we will see now this last lap. We're going to be riding along with Doug here on his cockpit view. Zipping on through here. Doug getting a really good run through the first corner. Running the flashers, you know, a little cheeky move. Distract your opponent. Thomas zipping through as well, ever closer to Joseph Yang. Joseph's going to have a hell of a time trying to fight off these two cars through this last lap.
Yang is way slow.
Absolutely. Thomas.
He's way off the pace. Something's up.
And Doug flying through the first chicane. Doug getting a really good exit out of there now within a half second of Thomas. And we will see now through the second chicane where Doug has been very strong. If he can close that even further, now we will see. So,
I was breaking early. His advantage might even be to hang back and try and get a good run out of the chicane. He's going to do that. He's right there. All three of them getting a pretty good run. Joseph Yang, not so much. Thomas going to power through.
Absolutely. Now within 1 second in closing.
This might be an eventful finish. Second, third, and fourth, all within 2 seconds of each other. A second and a half of each other, even.
Absolutely. Coming through the final chicane. The actual final chicane, for the record. Just a lot of that grass and curb.
With a good run.
Oh, man. This is tight.
Joseph Yang got a bad run. Thomas looking to capitalize on the draft. Doug Newman's going to get a run, too.
They're having a look.
Joseph Yang trying to break the draft. Holds the center of it.
They're going
through the stadium section.
Bumper to bumper.
Al's going to win the race. Doug Newman with a bold move to the inside. Almost loses it. Going to take third.
Well, he takes second. Oh!
Second. He hits Joseph Yang.
He hits Joseph Yang.
Oh,
Thomas
no,
goes through. Doug. Oh, man. Heartbreak for Doug, who had the pace, but just ended up going too deep. I wonder if that's going to help Joseph secure that second place over Thomas. Let's see. It's going to come down to the final corner.
Out of the corner, Thomas going to get a better run. Maybe no, slides the back end of it. Joseph Yang's going to hold into second. Thomas is going to finish third. Doug Newman's still going to get fourth. He could have had third.
Wild finish right at the end. Doug crossing the line now. Who else we got on track? We got Jackson Oliveira still running on track as well. Who else we got going on? Gaglione, our fifth place finisher, going to round the last corner here. And zip on by the start finish for a fifth place finish. Not bad from him considering the eventful race that he's had. I think Nathan, we got quite a few cars on track finishing their last lap, so you know, we're gonna be here a little while, just
be here a little bit. And what a crazy finish! 2 cars each, one car catching another car that's being caught by another car.
Absolutely, we had a pack of cars just running together right at the end.
He got people to talk to.
Absolutely, that was. I mean, the race really settled after a while for sure. You know, especially the last kind of 40 minutes. Kind of settled down. We didn't really see a lot of battles. Field was pretty spread out, but I guess between Joseph Yang's earlier pit stop and that strategy versus Thomas and Doug just on the charge, you know, and the mix-up with the you know, lap traffic and everything as well, it made for a very exciting finish. I mean, honestly, if you told me that we would have our you know, top 4 drivers, or let's say, you know, second, third, and fourth place that close together at the end, I wouldn't have believed you. So, really, really exciting finish. I believe just Giuliano is the last one as he trucks, and I think he's out of gas.
Oh no!
Is he gonna make it?
Phil, come on. Phil, push him. Oh,
Let's see, he's
he's
sputtering.
got the clutch in. But the quiet.
I don't think he's gonna make it.
I think he'll make it. He might make it. He's just got a ways to go.
He's
getting there.
glacial.
Somebody can come help push him. Somebody's coming around now.
It's glacial. Oh, somebody went
somebody's
around.
crashed. Oh, Val has done a donut. I'm still trying to see if he finished. I think he's gonna make it.
No, he's not gonna make it.
No. He was
Sad.
right there.
Real sad.
Oh.
And that's our race. We are back at the splash screen, and let's
talk to our winner.
Yeah, let's bring him in.
Hey, Val.
Hi.
You won the race. Congratulations, sir.
It was a long race.
That was a long race. You seem to have a pretty commanding lead over it.
Well, I mean, not
somewhat
for most of it, because Joseph was like, of all the strats that we tested, we didn't test the soft medium because we didn't think the softs were gonna go very far. But then Joseph carried the softs pretty far into the race and made us all worry quite a bit. And then there was the whole fiasco of the very horny first 2 laps.
Yeah, first 2 laps were pretty bananas. Through every chicane, really.
Yeah.
You and Doug get into it.
Doug came out swinging so hard.
Yeah, you guys
and I'm not entirely sure what caused my chicane incident because I got hit as I was turning, and I can't tell if my turn was going to hit the tires or if Doug hitting me caused me to hit the tires. I don't know.
I think Doug went a little deep, if I recall, on the stream.
Yeah, he
We'd
hit
have to take
me,
a
but
look.
I don't know if it was because he hit me that I hit also the tires.
I believe that's what happened because you guys kind of both bounced off.
Yeah, and then like Jackson also sort of like slipped up my inside with like a miss braking zone or braking point, and I thought I left the room, and then both of us went flying off the track. So yeah, like being in like, was it 5th or 6th after like lap 2? Oh, not where I was expecting.
No, but honestly, you had a brilliant drive, especially after the first pit stop, or the only pit stop, as it were. I mean, your pace was just otherworldly compared to everybody else on track, and you're able to just claw so much time back, especially as Joseph did take the soft-medium strategy, which left him with some more worn tires.
Yeah, my first stint was pretty rough. I made quite a few mistakes, like passing people, and following Thomas, I slid right off and found a tire wall and hit the wall and had to claw back up to Thomas again. But once I passed Thomas before the first pit stop, and then I had just to chase down Joseph, it was a lot easier to focus.
Yeah. No, the chicanes, especially, battling other cars, it seems to be the great equalizer. And we did see, more than a few tangles through the chicane, people trying to run too wide, or especially that second chicane is just really, really gnarly.
Yeah, just people getting in too deep into the braking zone too, right?
Apparently, I don't know if you guys interviewed them yet, but like 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, like came down to the wire.
Oh, it was literally a half.
We were freaking out.
It was a half second between each through the stadium section. It was awesome, and no, it was really, really wild finish. I mean, considering
all 3 of those at once.
Yeah, we were planning on bringing them in because honestly, especially probably the last half an hour, the field was so spread out. Like our closest battle was probably about 4 or 5 seconds.
Yeah, at some point, Thomas came up on the mic and was like, "Oh, I just did the math. I'm gonna catch Joseph on the last lap, and Doug's probably gonna catch me on the last lap." It's like, "Oh, yes."
Yeah, no, Thomas didn't have any favors with some lap traffic too, which held him up too. But he managed to hold on, and Doug and with Joseph as well. It was like Joseph was just hanging on. I'm amazed that he got to second, but we'll bring them in.
Speaking of hanging on, did I also get fastest lap?
I believe you did.
Oh, I'd have to double check S Tracker.
Yeah, we'll check it. We'll check.
I was looking for purples, but I think I also did like a slightly faster time on my second stop.
Right, I'd have to check.
We're pulling up the times.
How did the car drive?
The car drives really excellently. The only fault I have is that, the usual Assetto thing is where it's like you can max out the pedal input, and the car is still like not even hitting ABS, so like, which is in no way realistic in how you manage a braking zone, just going full pedal the whole zone, and maybe the ABS clicks a bit. It's really poor for braking, but like it handles excellently. The revs are great. The balance is good. We don't have to touch the bias too much. But if only it had more powerful brakes and you actually had to like finesse the brakes and not just like yeet the pedal to the floor, it would have been a lot more fun.
Yeah, so of
But
course we'll be
it's
doing
like,
a set of
yeah,
courses stuff.
like I think because that's the way the base cars drive, a lot of the mods drive the same way. I think this is a base car, right?
It's a
Yeah, I
base
believe
car.
so. Yes.
Yeah, I don't like the way they brake. It's not very realistic. It takes because if you're in a braking zone and the guy in front of you hits them first, you're locked in. Like you didn't hit, like you're always going to hit him because you can't push a little bit extra. You can't try to modulate more than the guy in front of you. You're both at max pedal and you both are at your fates are sealed. This
Certified
makes
top horsepower.
braking
You
kind
did
of
set
tricky in
fastest
traffic.
lap, by the way.
That's great. Thanks.
Yeah, 218.3. Damn, it's pretty fast lap. Looking forward to next week, the wild card week.
I am.
It should be pretty fun.
I'm
Alright,
looking
thanks.
forward to the yeets.
Oh, it will be a lot of fun. Thanks for talking to us, Val.
Thanks for having me.
Yes. Thank you, Val.
No
Great
problem.
race and congrats on the win.
There he goes. Let's interview second, third, and fourth. Who was second? We had Nathan.
It was Joseph Yang, it was Doug Newman, and we had
Hello, Joseph.
uh
Hello, Doug.
yeah,
Hello.
let's bring in Tom as well. Bring him.
Hello, Thomas.
Hello.
All right, so you guys finished second, third, and fourth, and it was crazy. What was up with that?
Make it exciting. It was. I just had a bit more pace than Thomas. Thomas had more pace than Joseph, and it was spicy.
For
Oh,
the,
it
for the
was,
commentators, did Joseph appear in one of the corners, or did he go under the track?
No, he was there.
I think he was there. We had a couple of issues during the race. Like I think I saw like Paul Todd and like a couple other guys kind of like go under the track at one point. Assetto Corsa doing Assetto Corsa things, but yeah, no, it was pretty wild.
That corner there, I think it was Jackson that was in front of me, or Michael Kozier, one of them. But that corner, he disappeared for a literal 3 seconds. He showed up just before the next corner. I
Yeah,
had no
so-
idea what was going on.
So the big
saw that
right-hander where we all cut up to each other, what happened was I got right up on Joseph, and early in the race this happened too. So then he goes under the track for me. I can see his name tag, but I'm like, I don't know exactly where he is.
Oh,
So I
God.
let off, and that's when Doug comes around me. And I was like, shoot, I have now lost it
Oh.
to
Yep.
Doug. And then Doug bumps into Joseph. I sneak up the inside. Sorry I bumped you too. I tried to not, and I was hoping it would like maybe straighten you up, and I
Oh.
saw you just completely spin and was like, oops.
No, I know it was one of those things. We already talked about it in the other chat, but I was just assuming that Joseph had similar pace to Thomas through the corner. So when I braked, I was braking with the intention that he would already be starting to go through the corner a bit more, and I did everything to avoid it. It was like another millimeter; it would have been okay, but I just gave him a little tap, and then obviously Thomas was able to tap me because I was trying to avoid.
Yeah,
It
Joseph,
just is
I
what
was-
it is.
you had
I
an
was
interesting
so worried.
strategy. Like
I
through
was
the
mean,
race.
it was-
so worried he was going to
yeah.
take out Joseph, and I was going to be
Yeah.
like, oh,
Yeah,
no.
so I was actually taking the defending line, and then as soon as Thomas told me, or Thomas sort of yelled on the radio that I disappeared, so I was like, okay, maybe I should
Bye.
start pushing to the left to give him the room, and then Thomas started backing off too. So that actually gave me extra advantage to take the inside line on the next following hairpin. Right.
And
Yeah,
like we saw
it
this
was-
coming like 20 laps before that too. Like I was looking at Doug's pace and Joseph's pace. I was like, oh, I'm right in the middle, and like we're all gonna catch up.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Joseph, really strong race from you. Really, I guess probably the most uneventful race until the end for like as pretty much anybody else in the field. It was
Mhm.
pretty quiet for you most of the race, and you held the lead for a good portion of the time. Obviously, on a different strategy than everybody else.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was hoping for, and it happened, and I'm very glad. Yeah, so everyone was going with half load fuel with the medium and one stop, I guess, except a couple of people. But I decided to do a 40-60 split with the soft and medium. It was a bit surprising how quickly medium started falling off after about I don't know, towards the end of the race, much more so than what soft would have fallen off. So I was a bit surprised.
Interesting,
But
yeah.
yeah, it's just, you know what? I'm so lucky that whatever happened, with the netcode god saved me and helped me keep my position. Super happy.
Yeah, absolutely. Great P2 finish from you, and yeah, what a wild finish.
Yeah,
I mean, honestly,
a
like
pretty fun
after a
finish.
certain point, I think we were like half an hour, 40 minutes left. We're just like, oh man, like it was spread out, like properly spread out. So obviously, you know, the pace difference from all three of you being able to kind of close in on the last lap made for a really exciting finish. So it was really fun to watch.
I definitely planned that when I hit the second chicane wall.
Yeah, Doug really had a huge advantage for the second chicane. That's where he was pulling a lot of time on you, Thomas.
Oh, it's yeah, I could see it in the rearview mirror. Just
yeah.
like every time, it's like, oh, there's 410s.
Yeah, it was like
Yeah,
consistently
I had a really good
410s.
line through there. Had a really good line through there, so
Mhm.
I was trying to utilize it during the race. It's a little risky, but I mean, at that point, I had felt like I had lost so much off the start, and I made a few mistakes right in the first few laps. I said I had to just kind of go for broke. And
Yeah, you had an
try to do
eventful
all
first.
that.
You had an eventful first couple laps.
Yeah, it
tangling
was
with
really
Val
bad.
and yeah, just
really bad, and I apologized to Val. And actually, I ended up touching Lee as well, which
yeah.
is uncharacteristic of me. I guess I should have anticipated
I mean,
the first lap better.
Yeah.
Where I made my mistake was Val and I we had the same line through that second chicane, and I didn't want people to rear end me into it, so I
You
did my
carried
normal
speed, yes.
hot lap line, and I thought Val was going to as well, but then he told me, he's like, no, I lifted early to make sure I made it through, and I was like, oh no.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, no, it's
it's
those
one of
chicanes
those
take no
things, yeah.
prisoners, and especially that one because it's such a
It's dangerous.
It's very dangerous. Like it's narrow, but you can straight line it. But that's where like the risk comes in, right? Where it's just like
it's 1980s dangerous.
Yes, where it's like if you clip the right hand curb like as much as possible, like you can just hammer it. But like, yeah, no, it's you got to be brave and you got to like get really close to the tires on the right hand side, and it's like, oh yeah, no, very dicey for sure.
Definitely made a judgment or a miscalculation with my judgment there, and I paid the price. There was one point I actually looked at the delta after making a mistake, and I think it was my second or third mistake, and I saw someone that was 3 places ahead of me, because I think it was 8th or 9th at that point, and it was a 22-second gap, and I said, oh my god, like I totally screwed this up. So
yeah, I mean a strong recovery drive from you, especially after the pit stop to claw your way back to
so you want to know the strat?
Fourth. Let's hear it.
That was double soft.
Oh,
going full soft all the way.
Oh, really?
85 liters.
Wow.
The tires, I found that the softs didn't fall off like the mediums fell off, and as long as you drove them in that narrowing window, they were able to produce the time that the softs or the mediums could not.
That's very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
There you go.
Do you have to adapt your drive style around it? Like, were you naturally just not pushing as hard to try and get more laps out of them? Or?
Pretty much push as hard. It's just on corner exit, you start to wash the front tire, and then if you wash and put too much steering angle, it kind of has the opposite effect where you lose the rear right after. So you just got to be very careful not to overdrive on corner exit, which is where you want to, because you're trying to catch the person in front of you. So you're, putting your foot down a little bit. So
interesting.
But yeah, that's what 188 laps on the server gets you.
I'm looking at the tracker and thought, oh no, never mind. I actually read the number wrong. I thought you guys were off by 1,000. No, never mind.
No. That would have been crazy.
Yeah, but good race. I'm proud of Val, proud of everybody that kept it clean.
Yeah, it was pretty good. That was a pretty good race all in all.
Yeah,
actually, I was really worried it was
thousands.
End boring,
if you want to talk,
that ended great.
If you want to talk thousands, Joseph Yang, Doug Newman, your fastest laps during the race were 2,000ths apart. Doug's fastest lap was a 2:18.527, and Joseph was a 2:18.529.
Yeah, at the beginning, Joseph was cooking. Like he was flying away. I was like, okay, well, this is already over. If that's
like as soon as that first couple laps, like Joseph was just kind of gone. Like, and then you obviously you boxed early to go to the mediums. And yeah, that
was a terrible choice.
Well, I think a lot of other people ran like medium. Thomas, did you ran medium as well as most of the others, I believe, right? Yeah.
I think there's a lot of time in the medium. It's just like learning how to drive them all differently.
Yeah, just that extended stint really sort of killed me
Yeah, I
towards
guess
the
it's
end.
that
But,
it plateaus a
the
bit, but I think I guess you
yeah,
probably hit that cliff with like the last like
yeah,
10 minutes, I guess, whatever the
yeah.
difference was between the
Last like 6 or
yeah.
7 laps, I think. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was pretty bad. I was running
Yeah.
22s.
Yeah, well, who knew that the soft was the ultimate giga strat? That's good
Mhm.
stuff.
Just me and
Well,
Brady. Because
Val still won on medium, so I don't know.
yeah, Val was
Also
really
true.
quick
Yeah.
on every tire. Like,
Yeah,
hats off to Val
that's true.
again. Like we all know this, but he's very quick. So
Yeah, and Thomas, honestly,
very
a strong
consistent.
race from you as well. I mean, you did get tangled a little bit with some of that lap traffic as you were trying to chase down Joseph there.
Yeah, I'm not too thrilled with what happened with Walter for like a whole lap. And then like during the second lap, like I messed up braking zones behind him. Cause especially the second chicane where it's like or the first chicane too, I had to bail out because I was like, oh, I misjudged how early he's actually gonna brake. And like how early I braked for that was still not early enough. And then yeah. But it happens. Traffic's hard to pass sometimes.
For sure, and obviously, like entry into chicane does not make it any easier.
No, and I
No
made my own
question.
mistakes that took up more time anyway. Like hitting the inside of the second chicane twice. I think that was a good like 10 seconds that I lost out on.
Well, it's the way it goes in endurance racing, right? It's like just try to be consistent more than anything else, especially around here where it's like that second chicane is so unforgiving and you're trying to get every last little bit out of it. But yeah, sometimes it's the risk doesn't pay off. But I mean, honestly, still a strong finish from you to get a podium place.
Yeah, definitely happy with it.
For sure.
Well, thanks for coming out, guys.
Oh, thanks for
Thank
having us.
you.
You looking forward to the
Thanks for
fun one
accommodating.
next week?
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
yes, I will be
Yes.
Every
there.
week.
It's gonna be fun. We're gonna have a lot of fun. It's gonna be great.
It's always
I'm
fun.
not just saying it because I chose that.
Can I commentate from in the car?
Yes,
You know what?
I think
Honestly,
Bazuk should get in there.
honestly, I
fun.
think we might be doing that. I'll have to work it out. It'll be a fun one.
All right, ooh, yes.
It'll be
Yes,
fun.
please.
It'll be fun. We'll work it out. All right, thanks for coming out, guys.
Cute.
There they go. There he goes. There he goes.
They are out, and we are still in here.
That's pretty. Yeah, I mean, that was a pretty good race.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it definitely had its moments. The first couple laps were very exciting. Obviously, a lot of position changes. Track's very unforgiving. Kind of settled in, I guess, at the halfway point and beyond. But obviously, with the differing strategies really coming at play here with these long laps, and obviously the choice of tire compound as well, making a big difference. Really opened us up for a really exciting last couple laps and an exciting finish.
We got a big race next week though.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Our
That's
wild
gonna
card
be.
break. This is our non-points week. It's gonna be real fun. We're gonna be doing a relay race around Assen TT North in the Legends 34 Coupe.
Yeah,
So
Legends
it's a
cars.
Legends style car. They're pretty
Boatload of fun. They are a 34
Sequential
Ford.
gearbox.
That's at
spool rear
3/4
end.
scale. Yep, spool
Yeah.
rear end. Motorcycle engine.
Sequential.
Yeah, it's good. It's good
Motorcycle
stuff.
engine, bias ply tires, so they handle great. It'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, they're right.
A lot of fun, a lot of sliding, and we're gonna be doing it as a relay race. Drivers are gonna be on teams. How the teams are gonna be chosen? That's a really good question. We're still gonna figure that out. I've kept it secret from the drivers, so they don't know. Even I don't know. Actually, I do know.
I don't
that's
even know.
about it.
Oh, interesting.
But I guess real quick, well, we'll talk about week 5 after our wild card week.
Yes, absolutely. But for now, obviously, want to thank Hip Motorsports, 13 Motorsports, and Adrena Garage for the promotional consideration, providing prizes to the drivers. You can check them out on their respective websites. Hip Motorsports. That's how I play. Got 13 Motorsports and AdrenaGarage.com. Of course, Ontario Time Attack. For helping us put on the series. And obviously, we thank all of y'all for tuning in instead of watching the Super Bowl. Because, racing's where it's at. In behalf of myself, Jordan Mazzulli, as well as Josh Cronin in the booth. We want to say thank you for coming. Hope you enjoyed the stream, and we will see y'all next week. Take care. Good night.
Have fun.
Hope you have a good week, and we will see you soon.
Enjoy your weeks.
Take care, everyone.